Sirius 147.
Psychic Mario Mornings, Jay Thomas Afternoons, the Sirius Stars Channel, Sirius 102, 888-4-102-102.
It's the Jay Thomas Best Of at Sirius Stars 102. Hi, the Jay Thomas Show at Sirius Stars 102. And Rodney Lee Conover is back in our studios here in California again. And so it's a triple Rodney Lee Conover week, you know. The boon to some, the horror to others. Hey, Gene Hackman. The Gene Hackman. Will be coming on in a little while, and he does not want to talk about acting. He's coming on with Daniel Lenihan, and he's I don't know if this is his first book or not, but
you can ask him.
I will ask him. Now, he's a tough guy, and
can I ask some questions?
You can ask him some questions, but you have to know about the book.
Okay, here's my first question. You ready?
Yeah.
So, how does your approach differ from comedy to a drama? Sir?
No, you can't ask about acting.
Oh.
You can't ask.
Were you originally cast in The French Connection, or was that someone else?
Hackman gave a rare interview to Larry King in which he announced he had no future film projects lined up and believes that his acting career is over.
And then Larry King...
What?
And then Larry King proposed to him.
And then he decided that he would just become a writer. So that's what he...
Do you know that Gene Hackman was originally cast in the Brady Bunch as the father? And I'm not making a joke?
Well, maybe you can ask... listen. Maybe you can ask him that. I don't know.
No, but did you know that?
I never heard anything like that.
It's the truth. And you know he had a clause in his contract that said if he gets the French Connection, he can get out of that TV contract?
That's not true.
I've heard him say it. Garrett, is that true?
100%.
No, it isn't, Garrett. What do you do? Of course not.
Look it up.
Garrett is like some sort of little minion that Rodney has.
Minion.
Yeah. So now...
Minion Garrett.
This guy that he's a buddy with, this buddy of his, is coming on.
Minion of Gene Hackman.
Yeah, Daniel Lenihan. He is a former...
I'm talking Henneman, Kinneman, Finneman, Linneman, Pinneman.
He's a park ranger and a scientist. And so he does underwater research like at Pearl Harbor and stuff like that. So and he's done all these documentaries. Now, Gene Hackman, before we go any further,
is he coming into studio?
Is he going to be in the studio or on the? I think it's telephone. Telephone, yeah.
Is it in France?
No, he didn't live in France.
Too bad, because then we'd need a French connection. Went a long way with that one. Sometimes you got to go around the block, you know.
God, I can just tell right now.
So when he comes on, I won't talk about anything but acting, but everything I say will have an acting meaning.
You know what it says here? It says, no, you could ask him, if you did a Civil War movie, which general would you like to play?
How about this?
Huh? What?
How about this? If you ever go to France in order to call home, do you need a French connection? Not talking about acting. Not a word.
Sherwood Schwartz originally wanted Gene Hackman for the role of Mike Brady, but Hackman wasn't considered well known enough at the time. That's all it says.
I'm going to ask him why his hat didn't fit in the French in the French Connection. His hat didn't fit. I think they had hired a smaller actor. And that was the other actor's hat. Should I ask that question?
You know who it was?
Who?
It was Robert Reed's for the Brady Bunch. It's his hat.
He was voted, along with Dustin Hoffman, at the Pasadena Playhouse. What was Gene Hackman voted? Call me at 8884-102-102. You can't see the notes. See, it's too late now. You should have done all this before.
I was busy trying to fix your computer.
Yeah, well, it's too bad now. Too bad. Now you can't. You're not going to see my notes.
Just one thing.
Call 8884-102-102. What was Gene Hackman voted, along with Dustin Hoffman, at the Pasadena Playhouse? And
biggest head.
You see, you know what?
Well, the hat thing.
You might guess correctly. That could be it.
Oh.
So, and of course, this piece of equipment that I have here.
Piece of what?
The equipment that I have here.
Got it.
It's, I don't know, I can't log back in or something. I restarted it or whatever. So Sean or Garrett, you're going to have to tell me who's on the telephone. But anyway, they've written this Civil War thing. And what do you keep looking for?
I'm just looking at his filmography.
Well, it's a lot of stuff. You've seen him in all those movies.
Let me see some more.
You don't need to.
I want to see the movies.
No. You know what? Just go over there. That's the end of Gene Hackman. We're not talking about that. You can't talk about movies. He doesn't want to talk about it. When these guys start, once they decide they're out of it.
Would you, Mr. Hackman, would you call yourself a... People have described you as a great man. In fact, almost a Superman.
You're just going to say things like that?
Not talking about acting?
What an idiot. What a complete... Why do you want to see it? No more jokes. Because you're going to do one of these when he comes on, and he's going to...
If you don't let me do them now, I'm going to.
You want to hear something? He's really like... I'm not kidding
you. If you don't let me do those jokes now, I will be doing them when he comes on.
Well, do you know anything about the Civil War? That's what he's expecting you to know.
I know that the North won, right?
Well, that's an accident. That was a terrible accident. I was raised in the South, and, I was raised not to like Yankees. And then I moved to New York from the South, and I'll be damned, not only do I play a Yankee, but I was cast as Jewish guys. Jewish guys, not just Northerners, New York Jews. And I had no idea. They thought my New Orleans accent somehow was Brooklyn or Boston. And my name should have been Dr. Scheinberg.
Some of those people that fought in the...
Not that there's anything wrong with New York Jews.
Some people that fought in the Civil War on the side of the South,
yeah,
they were really courageous, don't you think? A lot of them. In fact, you might say some of them had uncommon valor. Mr. Hackman.
That's what you're going to do? You're going to just throw things
Hey,
in?
what side of, seriously, on a serious note.
Mr. Hackman?
Mr. Hackman?
Yeah.
On what side did the state people from Indiana fight? Weren't they called the Hoosiers? Not about acting.
Oh, God. But you know what? I have to tell you, what's great about both of us?
What?
We're only brave before they come on.
Hey,
we're only brave.
What was Gone with the Wind about? That was the Civil War movie, right?
I would say it was, yes.
And at some point, states caught on fire. Did they not?
Well, no. The
Wasn't Mississippi burning at some point, Mr. Hackman?
Oh, my God. All right. Okay, so Gene Hackman will be on in a few minutes, and we'll talk about the Civil War. It'll just be fun to hear his voice.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Hackman, for all those lousy jokes.
But I think...
should I apologize more, or will I still be unforgiven? Mr. Hackman.
Of course, now you got me laughing at your fucking stupidity,
It's not about acting.
Sean, has anybody called?
No, Jay.
8884-102-102. What were Gene Hackman and Dustin Hoffman, who were friends at the Pasadena Playhouse, voted? And don't go on the internet. Try and decide on your own. What's funny about this computer thing, and everybody's using the computer and everything else. And I don't need a password. I don't need a login. I don't need anything. There is nothing in a computer that would have anything to do with my daily life. It would have nothing in it that is important. And that people put shit in a computer that is important to them financially or any other way is the stupidest thing. Because at some point, somebody can get in there and get it. Do you know that they've gotten the computer disk from when the shuttle Columbia exploded?
Wow.
And it's melted, literally melted. And this guy got data off of it. How many years ago did that? We had two of them. One that had to be over 20 years ago. What was the more recent shuttle explosion?
Mr. Hackman, I understand you have a few rules for the conversation today.
Kevin in Pennsylvania, the Jay Thomas Show. How are you, Kevin?
Pretty good, Jay. Hey, I just want to call up and answer that question. They were both voted most likely not to succeed. They were both considered the worst actors in the Playhouse. And
most likely not to succeed. You are absolutely correct.
You looked it up, didn't you?
Yeah, of course you did.
Now, I actually saw Gene Hackman on TV one time, and he was in an interview. It might have been Dustin Hoffman, but Rodney better watch out because Hackman's known as a badass. You know, he just might hunt him down and just kick his ass.
That's why I asked if he was in studio.
Yeah, he was a Marine. He's like 6'3".
Hey, do you know what? I would kick his ass all night long.
The least likely to succeed.
Kick his ass, not kiss his ass, Rodney.
Now, wait a second. Listen to add insult to injury. Hackman was working as a doorman in the 60s in New York, and the instructor, who he had despised at the Pasadena Playhouse, walked up and said, "You see, Hackman, I told you you'd amount to nothing." Can you imagine that shit? That's unbelievable.
Well, that's a real prick. Hey,
now,
Rodney, were you working there?
Where, Pasadena Playhouse?
No, he wanted to know if you were the guy that said that to Gene Hackman. Because people consider you a prick.
Yeah, well, I'm on this side of the mic, and you're on that
here's
side.
what's funny.
What can I tell you?
Rodney Lee Conover and I started together.
That's a real riot.
That's
Mr. Hackman.
Nobody knows that movie. They don't know that movie.
I'm really going to the B ones here.
You and I were voted least likely to succeed, and you know what's really sad about that?
What?
They were correct.
We accomplished it.
That's exactly right. We've gone absolutely nowhere. What do we have for Kevin of Pennsylvania? What do we have for knowing that Gene Hackman and Dustin Hoffman, close personal friends, acting compadres, voted least likely to succeed at the Pasadena Playhouse?
Congratulations, Kevin of Pennsylvania. A group that all the kids love. Brazilian Girls, their latest CD, or maybe not.
All right, there you go, Kevin. Enjoy Brazil. Now, what is Brazilian Girls about, Sean? What is...
It's a
just
band.
Pictures? Oh, it's a band.
Yeah.
Brazilian Girls. Okay.
Hey, Jay, you were talking about that, taking your sons to Gettysburg. That was pretty interesting.
You know, when we drove cross-country, when I moved from Connecticut to back to California, my wife anesthetized the two cats and took them in the plane. And one of the cats had a reverse reaction. My cat, of course, had a reverse.
Rocky
had a.
How on earth did they get him in a cage?
It was hard. They got him in a big dog cage.
I was going to say it had to be the size of first class.
He had a reverse reaction. He weighs like 40 pounds, and he began to go crazy at the
airport.
Yeah, they said, well, you have to take the cat out. They couldn't, it was after 9/11, so you had to take the cat out. They thought a bomb was in the cat or something.
In the cat's. You know, we used to put M80s in cats' butts.
No, you didn't.
So there's some...
So they put him back in, so I'm driving cross-country, and my kids and I are stopping at various places, and they're not that interested, but we go to Gettysburg, and I'm showing them the battlefield, and we go to the thing, and the phone rings, and I can hear in the background, meow, meow, and my wife's bitching and screaming about the cat, and she's going to leave the cat by the side of the road, and they won't let the cat on the plane. And I said, I can't hear you, click. So I just hung up, and I continued on my little tour of Gettysburg. And when you look at the battle plan that Robert E. Lee set up, even you and I, who don't know anything about war, would never have made that charge up that hill.
But did they have an alternative, or was there no way out, Mr. Hackman?
Oh, Jesus.
Boy, did I suck you in on that one.
You
had no idea that was
You
coming.
made me think you were interested.
That's right. Acting.
You made me think you were interested in my life for 1 second, and like a friggin' fool, I fell for it. And I was going to say something to you about...
Yeah, you were going to say something that really hurt me. What was that?
No.
Yeah, you said that.
I have something else.
Oh.
Do you remember when you had a brain aneurysm?
I remember that.
And you fell into my arms.
I remember that.
In New York City, and I carried you.
And
to
then the
hospital.
next night, I had a brain aneurysm.
That's right. So, and your brain, and it was the most horrifying pain.
Horrifying.
Do you ever wake up and think of that pain?
I do, because sometimes I get the same kind of cramp in my back muscle that was right before the brain hemorrhage. Sometimes I get that cramp and I think, oh, fuck, it's coming. And then I think of the whole experience. And thank God it didn't.
You know, I was down at my university at Jacksonville and spoke to a doctor down there that I graduated medical school with. And he said that never again will you have a brain aneurysm.
I was told that by my guy, too.
99.9% of the people never have one again. Either it kills you or you live and that's it.
Yeah. The odds of getting one are so high that the odds of getting one twice are just like winning the lottery twice. Which
Damage to a small, deep spot in the brain, as in an aneurysm, seems to wipe out various urges. And this surprising discovery has just been made by the University of Southern California. It's almost like a light switch has gone off for certain urges.
True.
Clearly, brain damage isn't a treatment option for people who have habits. Some of the habits that have left people after a brain aneurysm, and I'm gonna list these.
We'll see which ones I got.
The desire to smoke would go away. The desire to smoke.
I've never had that.
You smoke cigarettes, don't you?
No.
No, you didn't smoke? The desire, alcohol.
I have smoked a cigarette.
But you're not a big smoker.
But I don't like smoke cigarettes.
Did you smoke one after the aneurysm?
I think I had one at the Christmas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you smoked it.
Yeah.
Drinking, it would stop your desire to even want to have, forget alcoholism, you just don't want to drink anymore.
No, I still drink beer.
You still drink beer. So none of these things. So,
Garrett was definitive on that one.
Cravings for things like stuff you loved before, like chocolate or candy or cake or something you really loved before, gone now.
No.
A craving.
No.
What do you love to eat? I don't even know what you love to eat. You eat all
I
the time.
love to eat sushi.
And you still have that incredible craving for sushi. And people aren't even conscious of this desire. And the research says that it is absolutely striking. After this hemorrhage, what did you lose that you can think of your urge to do?
Well, I don't know if this is an urge, but you've known me for a long time.
Sure.
When I go into a room, traditionally, full of strangers, I'm either the life of the party or I'm at the very minimum, I'm introducing myself, starting conversation.
You're a gregarious person.
Absolutely. And no problem talking to strangers. I love talking to strangers.
Right.
It gives me terrible anxiety when I'm in a room full of people now.
So you have anxiety now. That's the thing that's happened to you.
Correct.
So that's one.
But only in certain situations.
Only in certain
Like I don't
situations.
have it now.
But something that you did before that you've lost a desire for.
Absolutely. The desire to make new friends in a room full of strangers and be gregarious. This is only in a big room full of people now.
You've lost that. Yeah. And can you think of anything else that you've lost a desire for?
Men. I've lost that desire almost completely. Oh, what?
I don't know. Anyway.
Well,
what is it?
I lost the urge to do sit-ups.
Okay, so that's an urge you had?
Yeah.
You did sit-ups before.
A lot of them.
You don't do them anymore?
I just don't even give a shit.
Okay, there you go. So it's not, so you know what's funny? Now I got you to talk about this, that's all. Who's waiting to talk? Hey, Adam, it's Jay Thomas. Gene Hackman is coming on. 8884-102-102. Yes, Adam, what can we do for you?
Oh, hey, Jay. Hey, Rodney. Hey, Rodney.
Yo, yeah.
Hey, I know you pride yourself on your wit. So work Phil Tenenbaums into something.
I was really trying to. That's a tough one.
I didn't hear
the Royal Tenenbaums, Gene Hackman. Joke.
You know what? Don't work anything into anything.
All the callers today should try to work these films into the conversation, but don't make it obvious until the actual name of the film.
Now, can I be honest that I will tell you now?
Fool Jay into it.
And I hope that Mr. Hackman doesn't have Sirius Satellite or listening to us if he does have it right now, because I will tell you that I do have a pet peeve with people that are famous at something and then they change completely to
exactly,
and then they don't want to talk about the other thing.
That's why I'm spoofing this. Now, the caller.
It's hard.
Where did you say the caller was from? Caller.
Adam.
Where are you from? Adam, where are you from?
Oregon.
Portland?
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you could be calling from overseas. In fact, it's almost like you might have a French connection, too.
All right. Jesus.
Too.
I stepped down the Tenenbaums. I got you.
All right, thanks a lot.
By the end of the show, you gotta think of something, Rod.
I will, just for you.
All right, bye.
I'm telling you right now, don't start. Don't start, okay? Man.
When you least expect it.
Because I would like to do it, too. And I can't.
You got the list now.
No, you know what happens?
Give me the list.
No, I'm not giving you the
Give me
list.
the frickin' list.
All right. Look at some of the movies he did.
Don't you try it. Good God.
Oh, I can try it.
Leave it to me and Adam.
In 1966, he did Hawaii. He was in Hawaii, the movie Hawaii. Remember that movie about the missionaries over there?
Sure.
So I would just say, hey, Mr. Hackman, you ever been to Hawaii? See, I could do it just like you can. Like that.
You just don't take it and use it in a sentence. You make it pertinent to the Gene Hackman interview.
Hey, Mr. Hackman, you ever date a girl named Bonnie or somebody named Clyde?
Now you have to relate it to the Civil War book.
Hey, was there a General Bonnie or a General Clyde in the Civil War?
Who was your favorite general, Bonnie or Clyde?
Hey, when you go out to have dinner, do you ever have prime cut?
You can't just...
Hey, Mr. Hackman, you know when you're in a field and the soldiers are going across a field? Back then, how did they keep the crows away from the stuff?
Well, I don't know.
Scarecrow. Hey, were there any monsters in the Civil War, Mr. Hackman? Like, he would have been really young.
Were there older monsters?
No, young Frankensteins.
Oh, yes.
Would there have been young Frankensteins, Mr. Hackman? Could there have been a young Frankenstein? Mr. Hackman, when in the Civil War, when somebody's getting a wound.
A famous scene in Gone with the Wind was when they didn't have any anesthetic.
None, sir.
To cut the guy's leg, and they had to like bite the bullet.
That's right.
All right, that's enough. Put that away.
Right. Hold on a second. You were in Superman, weren't you? Were you in Superman 2? Also? 2? Hold on a minute.
You're really stinking this bit up.
No, I'm not.
Garrett, is he stinking it up?
I use these things now.
Just the last one. That was.
Hold on a second.
But you guys are like two of a kind.
Well, I'm thinking the same thing he's thinking. Hey, Mr. Hackman, back then when they were having sex, do you think their penises were as firm as the ones now?
Now, that's a good one. Excellent. Firm. Because,
Yeah. By the way, sometimes people would die very fast, sort of the quick and the dead, Mr. Hackman.
Do you know when him and Dustin Hoffman were named
least likely to succeed?
He could, Mr. Hackman, you could sue the Pasadena Playhouse. In fact, get together with Dustin Hoffman and maybe you guys can get together on a class action. No?
Now, the Civil War went right through Alabama, sir.
Yeah.
Right through Alabama, and he'll do his thing about Alabama.
Oh, yeah. Alabama played a pivotal role in the Civil War.
And you know what's funny about Alabama?
What?
As they were rolling toward the enemy, sometimes it looked like a crimson tide. By the way, was there a height requirement in the Civil War, sir?
Or did they have to get shorty? I even knew that one was going. Okay, moving on. Hey, you know what? That was a bit ender.
Hi, Jay Thomas for Bit Enders. It is the Jay Thomas Show. None of this will be said to Gene Hackman when he comes on. We'll only talk about the book. It's about Andersonville, which was, by the way, a Confederate prison that the Yankees were put in. What do I have to say? The Union soldiers?
Confederate.
No. Andersonville.
Oh.
Yeah, it's he's written about Andersonville.
So the South, this is where they put the Yankees.
Yes, and it's a notorious Confederate prison. Well, they let them starve to death. They got cholera. It was like a concentration camp. It was awful.
Oh, my God.
And the stories about a Union officer who had been imprisoned there. In fact, and I know this from my from history, it was the only war criminal, one of the few hung after the war. The commandant. I'll tell you another question. You ready? And this is a real one, and I remember. What made the commandant, who was hung after the Civil War of Andersonville, what made him stand out in the history of people that ran prison camps?
I don't know.
What would make him stand out in the history of prison camps that you would go, that makes sense? You're not in the contest.
Oh, can I try anyway?
What is it?
He hung the most people.
No, God, no. No, that's not it. It's something about he himself.
He was the king of someone?
No, he wasn't the king.
Was he a member of the Royal Tannenbaums?
It's the Jay Thomas Show. That's Rodney Lee Conover. Do you see why people dislike you now?
There you go, Adam.
All right. It's Sirius Stars 102.
It's like air conditioning from your radio, keeping you chilled out this August. Chill. Chill. Nobody loves me. Chill. Sirius Channel 35. 100% commercial-free music to chill out to.
Attention all business owners. Could you use $50,000, $300,000 or more in lines of credit? Hi, this is Greg Zapper, president of Nevada State Corporate Network. Did you know the best hedge against a bad economy is to be incorporated so you can separate your personal credit from your business credit? Call us today to find out why more than 20,000 satisfied clients across the nation have used our services to get millions of dollars in credit, loans, cars, trucks, and equipment with no personal guarantee. You can have it all. Protect your assets, lower your taxes, and get business credit fast and easy. In today's economy, it is financial suicide to continue financing your business from your personal account. Call now. The first 50 callers will receive a $500 discount. Ask for the Zapper Corp and Credit Special. Call 866-854-5282. 866-854-5282. That number again, 866-854-5282.
I'm about to utter the three most terrifying letters in the English language. IRS. If you have tax problems, you might know firsthand how scary the IRS is. The IRS can garnish your wages, drain your bank account, and seize your retirement funds. They can ruin you financially. But don't give up hope.
Hi, I'm Ronnie Deutsch. As the nation's largest tax resolution law firm, we've seen it all and we're here to help.
Over the years, Ronnie Deutsch's law firm, Ronnie Lynn Deutsch, a professional tax corporation, has saved taxpayers millions of dollars. In fact, although results are not typical, some clients have paid next to nothing to the IRS. That's right. If you qualify, you could pay next to nothing to the IRS. Qualification based on individual circumstances. Not available in New York. If you owe the IRS, call Ronnie Deutsch's law firm for your free and confidential tax analysis and a free tax guide.
Call toll-free 1-800-641-5740. That's 1-800-641-5740.
The Jay Thomas Show on the Sirius Stars channel.
Bring me this King of the Jews.
Sirius 102.
It is the Jay Thomas Super Best of Spectacular Show, Sirius Stars 102.
I'm up. Hey, Paul McCartney's in the news.
What did he do?
Well, this is Jet, is it not?
Yeah.
Paul McCartney bought an eco-friendly Lexus, one of the very first eco-friendly hybrid-type cars that Lexus is making. Mm-hmm. Paul McCartney bought one.
Wow. So he's really into this saving
energy, sure.
Right, all that.
You know how they took delivery of it? Mm-mm. They flew it 7,000 miles from Japan in its own little plane. They estimated the amount of fuel needed to deliver Paul McCartney his Lexus eco-friendly car.
Right.
He could drive that thing to the moon and back and never get close to saving that amount of fuel.
Well, what it is, and it's true.
Why do people do something so obviously hypocritical? It sets back the cause.
Well, I don't know, and I've said this, I just did this television show.
You know that his car, the wheels on one side were both missing?
It only had wheels on one side?
That's right. He prefers that.
I have to tell you that when you look at Al Gore and you see that he has a 10 or 12,000 square foot house, and then he has a weekend home that's 8,000 square feet, and he has a private jet and all. If he had done just at least what a guy like me has done, or a guy like Ed Begley has done.
Ed Begley's the real deal.
He is the real deal. They made him out to be an idiot.
Well, he's not.
But there are people now that are building these eco-friendly places, and they're easy to build. And
that's right.
I did this pilot with Tom Bergeron recently that's going to be on this new Discovery Green channel, and really rich woman. I'm married to some producer guy, and she built this ecologically friendly house, and so she's
with a heated swimming pool.
But it's all heated by solar.
Is it?
It's $71. The heating bill is $70 a month or something like that.
Good for her.
Or the electric bill for the whole house.
Good for her.
Inside the walls are recycled blue jeans for the insulation.
Is it the low The low ones?
They were
that
Jordache. They were all Jordache.
The ones where you can see their boom boom?
I don't know which ones they used. But
was there any butt cleavage when you looked at the wall?
Everything in there. Had to wash them and get the stains out of them.
Did you go around licking the walls?
And everything was, echo. And so the reality is that maybe it cost another, 15% more or whatever. But when you build houses, the normal construction guy, he doesn't want to fool around with that stuff.
Oh, heck no.
He doesn't want to go down to
You got to force it down their throats, man.
You do. And I recycle as much as I can. We have a lot of stuff in my house in New Orleans that we found floating around after the storm.
Did you got B.B. King in your living room?
We do. We have B.B. King. We're using him as insulation.
And Fats Domino, I believe.
We have
using him as a planner.
For a while, and then he woke up, which really threw us. We thought he was gone. But we found all sorts of boards and stuff, and so we dried them out in the backyard. It was out of necessity at the time. I have chandeliers from a church that was flooded, and when they came in, they had some color to them, but they sprayed some sort of an anti-mold thing on them.
Yeah.
So I just took them the way they were.
Sure.
And I threw them up there in the house. Of course, now I brag about the chandeliers and the whole deal.
Yeah, you make it like it was a big plan. Like you went to some expensive stores.
$100 for 4 of them is what I did.
Antique.
We stole them from
an antique Fats Domino.
Yeah, from the church. We stole them. So. But yeah, so it is absolutely and utterly ridiculous. Now, I noticed.
They used to make fun of Ed Begley, and I was going, "Hey, man, this guy's the only guy that's walking the walk. The rest of you guys are a bunch of hypocrites."
He wasn't working because of that shit.
I know.
And now he is.
Well, God, he's a great guy.
Yeah, he is a great, but guess what? He wasn't working. His garbage is in a little shoebox.
He has a real solar-powered house, like photovoltaic cells.
Yeah, the whole deal.
Which is incredible.
All right. Is Gene Hackman ready to go, Sean, or about ready to call?
Is that firm?
He'll be calling in a minute, so we should break before he calls.
Gene Hackman will call with Dan Linehan. Hackman is going to talk about Escape from Andersonville. Now, I'm sure that...
But not Escape from Alcatraz.
That a few of you out there... God, I hope you read. Because I sure have a lot of these people that have written this stuff. Come on here. All right. It's the Jay Thomas Show, and it's Sirius Stars 102.
Sirius brings you backstage from one of the most popular music festivals in the world. England's Reading Festival with Metallica, The Killers, Rage Against the Machine. Hear live coverage from the Reading Festival Friday from 10 to 1 p.m. Eastern, plus updates Saturday and Sunday 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. On the Sirius station that brings you new music from the UK, BBC Radio 1, Channel 11.
Is Progressive.com an auto insurance utopia? Well, it can save you hundreds by being the one-stop place to compare Progressive's rates to those of other top companies. What's more, if you have any questions, we offer live phone support 24/7. And if you'd like to picture us with soap opera good looks, then go right ahead. What else would you expect in Utopia? Start saving today at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. That's Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates, Mayfield Village, Ohio. Prices vary based on how you buy. Comparison rates available in most states and situations.
Why does one person open a business and you go back 30 years later and basically they've made themselves a job, not a business? Another person opens up a business and in 10 years they have 60 locations and cash out a multimillionaire. The difference between the two is not the product or the service, folks. It's the skills and learning curve of the entrepreneur. We'll give you that learning curve for free if you call us at 800-913-0600. I'm Chet Holmes, author of the #1 business book, The Ultimate Sales Machine. I've doubled the sales of companies owned by billionaires, done billion-dollar turnarounds, and I've helped millions of smaller companies all over the world. Let me tell you the kind of businesses we like to work with. Ambitious, smart, capable, and interested in becoming the best. Our techniques slaughter the competition, and the minute you learn what we teach you, logically understand why. We teach you the key learning curve that takes a business to $1 million, then $5 million, then $10 million, then $100 million, and even on to $1 billion. Leave us a voicemail with your email at 800-913-0600, and we'll send you 9 free reports that are so good you won't believe we give them away. 800-913-0600. You won't believe the intellectual property we give away for free.
It's time for you to run an International ProStar. Why? Take a look at a fuel pump and you'll know why. ProStar makes the most of every drop of diesel. But don't take our word for it. Independent over-the-road and wind tunnel tests prove ProStar is the most fuel-efficient Class 8 truck on the road. Now ask yourself just one question. Can I afford to run any other truck? International. miles ahead. Visit internationaltrucks.com/MPG to learn how to get $1,000 off invoice when you spec the maximum MPG package.
Special, spectacular rerun, best of Jay Thomas Show, Sirius Stars 102.
Imagine all the tales she must have heard of rebel pride and Yankee grit. Brave yet so absurd. Gray lost but not forgotten. As we ran up the score, shared these secrets from her soul and so much more. The last widow of the Civil War.
You know what was a terrible book and even a worse movie was the one Cold Mountain. Is that it? What Cold? Well, the guy was the Civil War guy, and he leaves his wife and family. Is it called Cold Mountain? Is that it?
What?
The book, and that became the movie, Cold Mountain. And they used
the one with what's her name that squints a lot.
Yeah, they used Jude Law.
You know who was terrible in that movie? Nicole Kidman.
And Nicole Kidman playing Southerners. And of course, I had not read the movie, but I read so many reviews of the book. I mean, read the book. I read so many reviews of it to know that. And my wife was starting to read it on a vacation, and then she said, this is such a piece of shit, and just left it in the room or something. It was just a piece of crap, and it sold a ton and all. And you knew
she left the book in the room because she didn't like it.
She does it all the time.
That sounds like some pretty extreme measures. Go ahead.
I think whatever you started before is over now.
Okay, sorry.
That's one thing you've never learned, is it? You were voted most likely to do things too many times.
Hi, I'm Jay Thomas for Bitenders.
But I will tell you now, I've been against this. If you are an English person or an Australian, why they let them play Americans, I will never understand.
That wasn't my problem with that one. You know my problem with Nicole Kidman in that movie?
What?
You know the sex scene when he finally comes back, they have sex and it's all this romantic, filtered.
No, he doesn't make it back to her. He doesn't make it back.
She has sex with somebody.
Maybe before he left, but he gets killed.
When her and Squinty Eyes end up in the shack.
I don't remember the movie. I just know that you knew he was going to get killed. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been a movie. So he gets killed. And is he not the fruitiest looking guy?
He came back?
No, he died. That's the whole point of the movie.
He came back.
He died.
You want to bet?
I'll bet you $100. That's the point of the movie.
He died at the end, but he came back to her before he died.
No, he didn't. On the way back, he got killed.
Hey, Garrett, did he come back or not?
In Cold Mountain, he died. Now. And now, we've got a guy that hates this, who listens to the show.
He hates what?
That we talk about movies because he hasn't seen them. And he sends me these emails.
Joey from Seattle?
No, not Joey from Seattle. This guy sends me these emails all the time how we destroy movies. Now, I don't know if he's, kidding or not. But it's almost like he sends this, here he goes. Extremely pissed off cinema buff. Apologies for not lambasting you sooner. I got a little behind and had to record. One would assume that with a recording, the option of fast-forwarding past the offending remark would be the best course of action. Not in the case with J. Effing Thomas, who has mastered the art of saying all you have to do is say spoiler alert before you tell the end of any film, you arrogant prick. Last Thursday's show, you gave away the point plot of Little Children, which I have not seen yet.
And it's about little children.
But I say about the guy cuts his penis off and castrates himself at the end of the movie.
Well, I would be glad to know that's coming so I can avert my eyes.
In 3 years, you've spoiled about 20 movies. I've lost count. And you must have some psychic ability concerning the films that I have and haven't seen. I say, this is a nut. This is like a stalker guy, all right? And now, I have no idea if you shouldn't even see Cold Mountain. Now, Rodney is so dumb. I don't think you've seen the movie.
I'm dumb.
You haven't seen the movie.
You know what movie?
He dies before he gets back there. I don't think they have sex.
You know what movie you really spoiled?
What?
Mr. Holland's Opus.
Why do you do that? Anyway, we have him? Sure. Great. Gene Hackman and Dan Linehan. Mr. Hackman, Jay Thomas here. How are you?
Yeah, fine. How are you?
Good, man. Is Dan Linehan there?
Yes, he is. Yes, Sam.
Hey, how are you? By the way, Gene Hackman and Dan Linehan are here. The novel is Escape from Andersonville. It is a historical novel about Andersonville, which was the Confederate prison that was a concentration camp. And my friend Rodney Lee Conover is here now. I was raised in the South. I'm from New Orleans. My dad's from Texas. And, you know, we were kind of raised, and even though I sound like a Yankee, and we were kind of raised not to like Yankees in the South and stuff. And so it's always difficult for me because I was taught as a kid that didn't the North have a horrible prison up in Lake Erie or something like that? And
yeah, they actually had several.
One in Norfolk too, wasn't it?
In Norfolk also, yeah.
Well, not Norfolk, but I mean they had several prisons that probably had very difficult conditions. But the thing that people forget is that there was so much stress on the southern infrastructure itself, on the soldiers, and on that it was a lot harder for the South at that point to try to take care of 30,000 prisoners in a stockade that's 17 to 20 acres in size. Was a lot harder for them at the time than for the folks in the industrialized North. So
they didn't have the medicine or the food even to feed the soldiers.
When we talk about how bad the conditions were, and they were absolutely horrific at Andersonville. You have to remember that the Southern soldiers themselves at that time were not doing very well with in terms of what they were eating and what they were able to. It was a difficult time for the entire South, and being in a prison was not the best place to be, of course.
Gene Hackman is here with Dan Linehan, Escape from Andersonville. Gene, it's a historical novel, which I always like to read because, did you find a person that is this character that you found? Is it actually a person, Nathan Parker, who was in prison? Did you find a letter someplace?
No, we didn't do that. We approached it from a kind of a very fictionalized basis. The events that we talk about in the book, the various battles, and one thing or there were actual battles that took place and on those dates and all that. But the actual character of Nathan Parker and Marcel Lafarge were fictionalized, and we did that for specific reasons, so we wouldn't be limited to what we could say or do with those people. We liked the idea, the dramatic aspect of having that kind of freedom.
Now, who was the camp commandant? Was a German guy, right? And I believe he was one of the few guys hung as a war criminal after.
Yeah, that's correct. It occurs. Yeah.
Now you're making me go back to my. You're making me go back to.
This doesn't get into that at all. That occurred after the war, and yeah.
Yeah, you're making me go back to my my history degree here. I think his name was Wells, but he was a German. He was a German from Germany, right?
Yes, he was. Yes.
I mean, these sons of bitches were apparently pretty good at running concentration camps, even in the 1860s, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it,
he actually never comes up in the context of this story. Interestingly, some of the worst atrocities at Andersonville were carried out by Union soldiers against Union soldiers, and a group called the Nayarkas. It's essentially guys from New York and New Jersey, and it was just an extraordinarily difficult place to be. But this story, you see.
Wait. You mean like gang member kind of guys in the
gangs? Absolutely. And they kind of dominated the camp. They took people's clothing. They took their tarpaulins that they used for their shacks and their sheds and their little lean-tos, and they were a very dominating force in the camp.
And actually, I got to tell you, we got the German, we have the German guy, we have the gang members from New York and New Jersey. I mean, it's almost like nothing has changed, right?
Yes, exactly.
Actually, the fellow who was eventually hung was the only one that actually did something to at least suppress the gangs in there. But we say a lot of this story, really, most of it occurs or takes place outside of Andersonville. It's mainly the story of Nathan Parker and unlikely associate and Marcel Lafarge returning to get the additional members of Parker's company, the 23 men that were still there. It was kind of the story of his obsession to get back and free his men.
Gene, when you finally make the movie of Escape from Andersonville, can you do a favor for me, please?
Okay.
I don't like when foreigners play Southerners. I hate it. They had Jude Law and that friggin' Nicole Kidman playing Southerners in the Coal Mountain thing. Just have Americans in the friggin' movie, and just for me, please.
Okay, I'll give you that promise.
All the time they have a Southerner.
I'll make sure that everyone in the movie is American.
You promise me that?
I promise you that.
All right. Who are you gonna play in Escape from Andersonville?
I think I'm too old to play anybody of any kind of vibrancy. If anything, I would be maybe a doctor covered in blood doing an amputation or something like that.
Gene Hackman and Dan Linehan's book, The Escape from Andersonville. It's out there now in hardback. It's a novel. Gene, why is it that you always say that your acting career is over and you were on Larry King, and every time I hear that, it's almost like you think no one's going to hire you again rather than you're retiring? I never understood that.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's that age-old kind of actor's insecurity that after your last job, you never think you'll get hired again or whatever. But this time, I really... I'm at an age where I just don't think I want to do it anymore. It's just too tough.
You mean I mean, when you say it's too tough, you mean going to a set and
living away from home for 8 or 9 months out of the year. If you do a picture and a half a year, it becomes really disrupting to your life. And there was a time where I could work 24 hours a day, but not anymore.
Well,
I love the actual acting when I'm doing it. I love it. It's just that the business itself is so difficult.
It's so funny to hear about you and Dustin Hoffman being voted least likely to succeed, and there's even a story about you being a doorman and a guy seeing you and say, "Hey, Hackman, I told you weren't going to make it." Is that true, or is that just urban legend?
No, the thing about Dusty and I were absolutely true. We went to Pasadena Playhouse together, and then we lived together here in New York. He lived with my wife and I on the Lower East Side, and Bob Duvall was around in those days. And I was a doorman at 49th Street and Broadway. There used to be Howard Johnson there. I think it's a Chinese restaurant now. And a drill instructor that I knew when I was in the Marines came by, and I was dressed in a white uniform. And he came by and never looked at me. He just said, "Hackman, you are a sorry SOB."
Gene Hackman and Dan Linehan. Now, who types when you two are writing the novel? How does it work? How do you break it up?
We write separately. We never write together. I write in longhand, and my wife deciphers it then. Dan, I think, writes only on the computer. So once that's all deciphered and put together, we then meet a couple times a week and discuss it. And
Dan, is it hard for you to tell Gene that you...
work.
Dan, is it hard for you to tell...
Going with the next chapters.
Dan, is it difficult for you to tell Gene you think what he wrote is kind of shitty? You ever have trouble doing that?
Well, you have to be... every time I think of English Bob and Unforgiven being beat up when he criticized Gene, it gets my attention, so I always try to put it as politely as I can.
We were going to try not to mention acting, Gene, where you were here, but it's hard not to think you could be a tough son of a bitch. I mean, in real life, did you ever beat anybody up like that, or anybody?
It's never like in the movies. The real fights always end up on the ground in the kind of a wrestling match, and people just kind of the slapping and stuff like that. It's very good. Yeah, I was in a fight Oh, I don't know. 4 or 5 years ago, one of the road rage kind of things. It was
who was attacking who?
Who was jumping?
Who got out of the car?
Yeah.
We both did. Yeah. There was.
Did he say? Did he go? Holy?
Did he see you? And
two guys and a woman in the other car, and we all ended up on the ground.
Did anybody say, "Holy shit, it's Gene Hackman"?
No, they never did. I was really annoyed at that too, that they didn't recognize me.
Gene Hackman
kicking him in the groin.
Did you hit the woman too, Gene? I would expect that.
I never got a chance to. I tried to, but she would never get close enough.
She was quick.
Oh man, Gene Hackman and Dan Linehan escaped from Andersonville, and it's a novel. You know, if you guys continue to write, and being a Southerner, one of the most vilified generals, which there are no statues for him in the South, was James Longstreet. You realize that, right?
Oh yes.
There are no statues, and so and the reason why is that they wanted to make sure that Lee was considered a god, and that Longstreet was blamed for everything. When I think, and then he was a friend of Grant's, I believe, and became a Republican and all of that. Are you after Andersonville? Do you have something else you're going to keep writing in this vein?
Not Civil War. I think we've done our Civil War piece. We like writing in terms of history, but we like that kind of thing, and we're talking just recently about going back in time a little bit, maybe another 100 years or so. But it's still all up in the air.
Okay. Well, listen, it's a pleasure to talk to Gene Hackman. Dan Linehan, it's nice talking to you, too, but, Gene's a bigger deal to me still. I apologize.
That's okay.
Right. And by the way, it's Escape from Andersonville, Gene Hackman and Daniel Linehan. And Gene, what was it that they did that upset you on the road? What caused the fight?
They were dodging back and forth, bumper to bumper, the kind of thing behind me, and then came up alongside me and, giving me all kinds of signs about what they were going to do to me for whatever reasons, I don't know. So when we pulled up at a stoplight, they got in front of me, and I give them a little tap. I don't know why that would upset them, but
you gave them a tap with your car.
Give them a little tap with my bumper and
little trade and paint.
Little trade and paint. You were doing that. Yeah, trade and paint is what they called that, right?
Yes, trading paint.
That's right. All right. And was it anything like the French Connection? Was it anything like that scene at all?
Not for a moment. The only thing connected to the movie was when we were on the ground. I looked over and there was a bus stop there with a sign on the movie sign on it that was an advertisement for a picture that I was in called The Heist. I'm down there fighting for my life, and I look over and I see a picture of myself.
Oh, man. Gene, thank you very much. Dan, thank you, too. Gene Hackman, Dan Linehan, Escape from Andersonville. It's a historical novel. You'll love it if you love history. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. All right, man. It's the Jay Thomas Show, Sirius Stars 102.
The Democratic and Republican conventions are firing up on Sirius, and so is the political talk from all sides.
On Sirius Left, it's Lynn Samuels, Mark Thompson, and me, Alex Bennett, with the left side of the argument.
It's Andrew Wilkow. On Sirius Patriot, myself, Mike Church, and Sean Hannity, we're standing firm on the conservative values.
And on Indie Talk, catch me, Vinny Politan, along with Ron Silver and Pete Dominic to hear all sides.
Political talk for the conventions and fight for the White House. Sirius Left 146, Patriot 144, and Indie Talk 110.
Do you know the difference between the millions of millionaires in this country and you? Simple. They decided they wanted to be millionaires, so they went out and did it. So, do you want to be a millionaire? If the answer is yes, then get ready to write down a number that could change your life forever. Because now you can get a free CD that shows you everything you need to start making the kind of money you deserve with an internet business that virtually runs itself. So you're making cash even while you're sleeping by selling products you don't have to see, store, or even pay for. There are millions of millionaires out there. Don't you want to be one of them? Get the free CD from Internet Speedway and start making money with an internet business that virtually runs itself. For your free CD, call 1-800 1-800-229-7758. Deciding to be wealthy is the first step to becoming wealthy. Call now. 1-800-229-7758. The free CD is yours by calling 1-800-229-7758.
Have you ever thought about saying goodbye to your job? Just walking into your boss and saying, I quit. And how would you like to commute to work without ever leaving your home? Well, not long ago, a 39-year-old entrepreneur from a billionaire family spent $20 million in 3 years to find the best home-based business in North America. He researched 70 different companies, and when he found the only one that had real long-term potential, he bought it. And right now, he's looking for people to help him turn this company into his next billion-dollar success story. So if you're serious about making money from home without having to leave your home, well, grab a pen. Because I'm about to give you the address of a website where you can learn all about this unique and rare opportunity. Write this down. www.goherenext.com. Now get on your computer and go to this site now. Part-time or full-time, your income is based totally on your performance. Interested? GoHereNext.com and say goodbye to your boss tomorrow. GoHereNext.com.
The Jay Thomas Show on the Sirius Stars channel.
Got a little Irish in me.
Would you like some?
No, geez.
Like that one?
Sirius 102.
We were born to mothers who smoked and drank. Our cribs were covered in lead-based paint. No childproof lids, no seatbelts in cars.
This is a song sent just for Rodney Lee Conover from JT, my son, by Bucky Covington. Listen to this one.
Still here we are. We got daddy's belt when we misbehave.
Ow, yeah.
Had free TV channels you got up to change.
I didn't like
no
that.
video games and no satellite.
Now, see, I would ban video games.
All we had were friends, and they were outside. Playing outside.
Well,
it was a different life when we were boys and girls.
Now, I know that's being played in Nashville. That's Bucky Covington. Singing all the things that Rodney Lee Conover believes. Hey, it's the Jay Thomas Show.
That was some interview.
It really was. Rodney Lee Conover is here. Sean Kelly's our executive producer. Garrett Andrus back running things back there. And you hear me say Art Sears and Lauren Lieberman's name all the time. But they're responsible for probably 90% of the guests. That is a tough one to get. Gene Hackman, when he did the Larry King show, it was said that it was... If you look back, I think Gene Hackman maybe did the Johnny Carson show one time. He does very few interviews. And can you get Art on the telephone? You know, Art's dad just passed away, and they buried him earlier. I guess they on maybe even on Monday, something like that. So I don't know if he'll talk to us. But that was a...
Jay, I just talked to Lauren, and Art is busy dealing with some estate stuff right now.
Yeah, okay. But tell him thanks. That was a tough one. That was and listen, what a great thing to hear him talk about 4 or 5 years ago. And I think Gene Hackman is in his 70s. I think getting in a fist fight and rolling around with two guys on the ground.
Strangers. A road rage.
Grabbing balls and hitting each other, and he never could get to the and hitting them with his car and shit. You know,
trading paint, and he looks up and he sees a poster of himself.
Amazing though in Andersonville that this German commandant, gets runs the camp almost like a concentration camp, and then gets hung after the war.
Well, I mean, what else are you going to do with an enemy of the state?
Oh, jeez, idiot. Did you stop? By the way, I got French Connection in there, didn't I?
No, you were talking about movies.
I did.
That was great.
And not to brag or anything.
No.
But the reality is that we had people on years ago, and we always go back to the Caroline Kennedy thing, where she'd written this poetry book, which seemed so bullshit.
That interview,
it was awful.
You were a real loose cannon.
Anyway, so... God. Nobody even knows that movie.
I know.
But the strange thing is is that if you know the subject that they're talking about and you kind of ease into it, and I had to learn this, without all this, to me it seems like honesty, and it really comes off as pomposity or arrogance.
But you were prepped.
Yeah, and I absolutely, I do a lot more prep now. Now, the Civil War I happen to love, but before the show I thought Andersonville, there have been movies made about it and stuff, but I went out of my way to call one of my old Civil War buff buddies, and we talked about the German commandant and James Longstreet, the vilified general that, I always read about and stuff. And so once you do that, then you're allowed to kind of move into the other thing.
Gives you power. Gives you the power.
Well, it's okay.
In fact, it gives you absolute power.
All right. Even Garrett's not laughing at you anymore.
Inside he is.
Garrett, don't you feel sorry for Rodney right now?
I laughed at that one.
No, you didn't.
I'm liking this.
Idiot. John of Myrtle Beach, the Jay Thomas Show. I like to call Myrtle Beach Sodom and Gomorrah. That's the greatest place. You go down there, they have 81 golf courses, and they have 155,000 strip clubs.
You know what I call it?
What?
The quick and the dead.
It's a great place to live. Best place
It is.
I ever moved to.
John Goodman and I went down there and opened up that House of Blues. Is that still going there? They still have it going?
Yeah, I live no more than a half a mile from there.
Yeah, we went. And
Who'd you see there?
We opened. You know what? I want to say that somebody like Muddy Waters is somebody who's now dead. Was there like a 90-year-old guy? He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And John Goodman.
I did a show with him.
Did the thing with, the Blues Brothers. Danny Aykroyd was there. They did a Blues Brothers thing, and then a bunch of, and then we went to all kind of strip clubs, and man, it was wild. You play golf, John?
Well, I go through the motions. Let's put it.
Go through the motions, yeah. Swing your arms back and forth. What can we do for you, John of Myrtle Beach?
I called to tell you that Rodney's actually right about that Cold Mountain controversy that you got going there.
He comes back and sleeps with her? I thought he died on the way back.
Well, he goes through hell getting back home, but he does make it back home to her and gets her pregnant, and then he's out riding around. Now, this has been a long time since I saw the movie now.
There you go, Jay.
But he's out riding around and gets into some sort of a gunfight with a group. I think they were called the Redlegs. They were like the Regulators. They're sort of a vigilante group that was running through the South, through Missouri or wherever it was at the time. And he gets killed.
You mean behind enemy lines? This happened?
No. This was back home. After he makes it back home, after the war's over.
John, he's shitting on you. That's a movie that Gene Hackman was in.
No.
Yeah, you've got to be very careful.
Rodney would not shit on me when I'm defending him, would he? Would he do that?
No, he did. That's the kind of person he is.
I am not shitting on this guy.
That's the kind of guy
Jay,
he is.
You can't even remember a simple thing in Cold Mountain.
I thought that he was coming back home and she was waiting, and he almost gets home, and then he gets killed.
Well, all I know is Nicole Kidman, and what's the other girl's name?
I don't know.
Oh,
what's her name? The actor,
Pruneface, who I love, Renee Zellweger.
Both of them.
Yeah,
they're a couple of
terrible
heartbreakers.
It was awful. All right, thank you, John of Myrtle Beach. All right, who's there from Wisconsin? Who's calling?
Tom.
Hey, Tom, it's Jay Thomas. How are you, Tom?
Hey, guys.
Hey, man.
I want to add Rodney to the list of things that make me turn the channel.
Oh, you do? You're sick of him?
He turns my fucking stomach. Rodney, shut the fuck up, would you?
Sir. With the movies about Gene Hackman?
Yeah, he just on and on and on.
On and on. It doesn't stop.
Fuck up already. You're worse than a fucking yenta bitch.
Yeah, hates that. Hates all that.
Well, all I can say to that is...
Don't say it!
I think we should get some new callers. Maybe we'll get some replacements.
Bye.
Oh, okay. See you later. You see, you drive people crazy, okay? You've driven the man nuts.
He called in so I'd make a movie joke.
No, he
did
too.
No.
No. He had uncommon valor, I think, making that call. You know? He's done some... I've never even heard of these movies.
Well, he's certainly under suspicion.
Oh, boy. Postcards from the Edge. I didn't know he was in that. Class Action. Company Business. Geronimo, an American legend.
Wyatt Earp.
He was in Wyatt Earp. The Chamber. Twilight. Never heard of that. Ants. A-N-T-Z.
He was really Woody Allen movie. He was really funny in Get Shorty. That was really a good
With his
one.
neck brace and all?
Yeah.
The Heist. That's pretty funny. The Heist. What's that? Who's from California? Tell me. I can't hear you. Hey, Robbie. Jay Thomas. How are you, Robbie?
I got to tell you guys, I can't believe anybody would criticize Rodney. The show, Jay, I love you, but you guys have such a great chemistry together. I can't believe anybody would criticize Rodney.
Oh, there's plenty of people.
If you get a 3 a.m. show on for truckers, I'll listen to it every morning, I promise.
There you go.
Oh,
there you go.
The 3 a.m. show.
There you go.
You got to start.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
That would be a damn good show.
Okay.
I'll
great.
tell you something else about truckers.
What?
And they... Truckers have a lot of information. These guys are really... Because they listen so much. I mean, they listen to so many different things. They're all over America, listening to different stuff as they go along. These guys are...
We're not all Hoosiers, I can tell you that.
Yeah, oh, no, that's right. There you go. All right. So he complimented... So why don't you get a show on the trucking channel?
I would love to.
There you go. All right.
Like anyone would give me a show.
I'll tell you...
Hey, Rodney.
Yeah.
Let's go from just another interception.
I didn't hear you.
Sorry,
What's
once
that?
again?
Let's go and just do another interception.
Okay, good. Thanks.
All right, man. Thank you.
Maria from Texas, the Jay Thomas Show.
Hi, Jay.
How are you,
Hi,
sweetheart?
Jay.
Stay where you are.
Thank
Holger Barron is coming up. Holger Barron, that's the first name, Holger. And Holger is going to try and sell us on the idea of a $14,000 toilet.
Holger Barron.
That is called the, Sean, how do you pronounce that? That's French. Dagobert?
The wee-wee.
Dagobert.
Dagobert wooden toilet throne, and it's got a full set of accessories. It's built just like
Je m'appelle Dagobert.
a 8th century French toilet.
Tout le monde, il est beaucoup de fer. Dagobert. Oui, oui.
Maria, what can we do for you? Welcome to the Jay Thomas Show with Rodney Lee Conover.
Thank you very much, Jay. I'm a big fan of yours, and I keep hoping to find what you see in Rodney. I second the guy who said that he's a channel changer. I much prefer Shuley or Madison. I think they really add something. Maybe you and Rodney have something private going on.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I got pictures of him.
Can I be honest with you? There are things about Rodney that is true. First of all, when he's such a conservative and he hates any kind of a warning, like the song we ran about.
I do. I hate warnings.
He doesn't think there should be warnings against paint chips. He was against airbags, seat belts, child safety seats. And it's because, and I mean this, Maria, of some horrible disappointment that you had in your life. I mean it. No, I'm not kidding. There is a disappointment.
Do I seem unhappy?
Well, perhaps you could find something that translates into entertainment via satellite that the rest of us can get in on.
You know, I couldn't agree with you more.
Seriously, I would like to say that listening to Howard in the morning and then laughing with you in the afternoons is a real pleasure. You're a big addition to our day-to-day laugh.
And the Rodney drags you down,
I think the vote is in. I think the vote is in. The people have spoken.
And I'll tell you,
in fact, it may be a runaway jury.
You see, Maria, even in the face of what would be defeat for most, his ego.
I just boned a girl named Maria.
You see, he's now going to start with the
Did
dirty
you hear
stuff.
Maria laughing?
But she's laughing.
You hypocrite, Maria.
She's laughing at you and not with you. Maria, I don't think he's funny.
They call the wind Maria.
No, they didn't call the wind Maria. That's
Maria.
No, they didn't.
Maria.
That's Mariah. Thank you very much,
Jay,
Maria.
thank you so much.
My pleasure. You see that?
And thank you, Maria.
No, I mean this.
She really brought the show up.
Climate change, if we say anything about that.
Climate change?
You're against...
You mean not global warming?
No, you're against any... No, I mean this, though, and that's one of the things... No, forget that.
I am a strong conservationalist and a strong environmentalist, and don't let anybody think I'm not.
But you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
I don't believe in fairy tales.
Right, I understand.
Chicken Little.
No, but the thing is that, do you know any children that have eaten paint chips? I do. They're not right.
Do you know some children?
I absolutely do. Absolutely.
What's wrong with them?
They lose their cognitive abilities.
You know, you're like my mom. She's like, don't do that. You can poke your eye out. No, there was Jimmy down the street, poked his eye, and he was like, really? I'd like to meet him. Where? Well, he moved away.
You're the only guy.
It's always this mythical kid.
No, this is the truth. You don't even like train crossing signals. I was in the car with you once. You said,
how can you beat the train if they've got that gate there?
You wanted to make your own decision to get across that thing.
How can you beat them? They got gates. They're stopping you.
So here's my definition of you. It had been really cloudy here for a few days, right? In June.
You know why you can't hurt me today?
Why?
You know.
June and July is kind of cloudy, you know, starting late in May like it is now. And so I call you yesterday and I go, what a beautiful day. Mm-hmm. And you said, how I wouldn't know.
Yeah, because some of us work really hard to prep the show in the morning.
Because you're in a dark room.
Other people are off gallivanting down the sidewalk doing who knows what, enjoying the day. Other people are home in the dark working.
You know how sad that is? Why don't you
sad.
Just open the window.
But somebody's got to do it.
Just open the window is all anybody ever asks of you.
I can't reach it.
You know what? Open a window in your whole life.
I can't reach it.
Yeah, you can. All right. He's not going anywhere.
You know, this is a guy who can't get his computer started. He's talking about opening windows.
It's the Jay Thomas Show. I can't open that. It's Sirius Stars 102.
Get it? Open windows?
I know. I got it. Yeah. I got the whole thing.
The race for the Sprint Cup Chase is on Sirius NASCAR Radio. And with 3 weeks to go, you'll want to hear all the action every step of the way as the top drivers race for position at Bristol, Fontana, and Richmond.
Junior loses a left wheel, slams the outside wall.
Plus expert analysis from Buddy Baker, Chocolate Meyer, David Poole, and of course, Tony Stewart Live. And with Driver to Clue Audio, you won't miss a second of the action.
Got one spin in front of you. Go high.
Go to Sirius.com/NASCAR for more information. Sirius NASCAR Radio, your place for the chase.
Are you a business owner who needs to build a new facility on a tight budget? Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. A secret conventional construction companies don't want you to know. You can save yourself an unbelievable amount of time and money with a pre-engineered steel building from Anthem Steel. Not only that, you can find out how for free. For your valuable free information, just call 1-800-296-9673. Learn how an Anthem Steel building not only saves you time and money, it's also fully customizable. Choose the size you want. Even choose the look of brick, stacked stone, or rock. And you won't believe how much you can save over conventional construction. This is information traditional construction companies would like to keep secret. But if you need to build a new facility, you need to know how much you can save with a sturdy, pre-engineered steel building from Anthem Steel. To see this valuable free information for yourself, call now. 1-800-296-9673. That's 1-800-296-9673. 1-800-296-9673.
How many times have you found yourself wanting to stay in the car to keep listening to Sirius? If only you had another Sirius radio at the next destination, your office, home, boat, your other car, riding mower, whatever. Well, Sirius thinks it's time you did something about it, and we make it easy. Right now, you can add a second, third, or fourth radio to your existing account for an additional $6.99 a month per subscription. That's about half off the single subscription price. And when you think of everything Sirius offers, the sports, including the NFL, NASCAR, comedy, entertainment, big-name stars, and 100% commercial-free music, you'll realize how much you get for so little. We've even discounted our radios just for current subscribers. For a limited time, save up to half off on many popular models, including the portable Stiletto. Go to Sirius.com/radio2 for all the money-saving details. That's Sirius.com/radio2. Sirius Satellite Radio. The best radio on radio.
The Jay Thomas Show on the Sirius Stars channel.
I'm gonna be in hell with the cool people, all the whores.
Yeah.
Porn stars.
He's absolutely right.
Sirius 102.
I'm Jay Thomas, and what are you listening to? This is the super spectacular best of stuff that happened before on the Jay Thomas Show, Sirius Stars 102. I'm up. I love this group, the Amboy Dukes. Hi, the Jay Thomas Show. Are they from the 70s? I think they are, aren't they, Garrett?
This one is actually from the late 60s, Jay. This is actually Ted Nugent's first song.
Wow. Now, that's a guy that is very difficult to watch or enjoy on TV with the stabbing. He likes to go and stab a deer to death.
It's no better or worse than shooting. Don't tell me it's better or worse.
You know they go quicker when you shoot them. You shoot them properly. You shoot them.
Yeah, everybody's such a great shot.
They are.
Everybody. All hunters kill on the first shot instantly.
No, but you shoot them twice.
It's very rare, in fact.
Oh, baloney. You don't know anything about hunting.
I do. I know that it's a bunch of psychopaths.
You know what? It's like you listen. The only thing you know about is hunting, like close to closing time. It's the only hunting you know about.
Okra, my friend.
Okra.
Okra.
I mean okra. Okra.
Vaginal okra.
You met a woman from Louisiana?
I sure did.
Okay. Hey, the Jay Thomas Show. Let's go to Joey the Schizophrenic from Seattle, Washington, who we've talked into somehow becoming a comedian. He's got an email address, Joey the Schizo.
Joey, don't hurt me, man, because they're after me today.
That's right. Coming up, the $14,000
They're
toilet.
letting all the callers in that hate me.
Well, I called in to answer the question of the day.
Yeah, what is it?
Well, first of all, Rodney's an asshole. He's a brain-bleeding little prick. That's the man's gonna suck. Oh, my God, Jesus tits. It's a mess down there.
That's the tribute song to Rodney Lee Conover.
You gotta work that one out a little better, buddy.
Hey, Joey,
I like it, though.
Joey, what is...
I like it.
Joey,
I like
what is your MySpace thing that you've started?
The MySpace is myspace.com/Joey the Schizo. There's
And
not
how
really
do you
a
spell it?
yet, but there will be.
How are you spelling Schizo?
Spell Schizo.
Skitzo.
Like skit.
Yeah,
Like it's a skit.
Very good. Joey the Schizo.
And the email is crazy effing Joey, crazy with 2 Z's because I earned it, at live.com.
Effing F-I-N-G.
Joey the Schizo.
At live.
He's a frickin' little prick.
Now, hold on a second. Are you getting any response from people?
Yeah, in fact, I think Madison sent me a bikini shot yesterday.
No.
Yes.
She is so desperate to have anybody think she's attractive. It's like, God.
Well, I'm going to talk to her. I got an idea from Madison.
But no matter what you say, you got to tell her she's beautiful, or she'll take, a double dose of, antidepressing pills.
I think I can help her out in the ha-ha chair. I'm going to see what she says.
So, Joey, last night, the state of West Virginia voted overwhelmingly for...
the rednecks and crackers.
Hillary Clinton.
That's why I want to see Obama on the ticket. I want to see how that vote goes.
Yeah.
I think Hillary's going to pull it out, though, for sure.
How?
I just think the Democratic Party has to think they got a better shot with a white woman than a black guy against McCain.
I agree.
They have to think that. I mean, it would be retarded the other way. It's as retarded as it is with Hillary.
Well, what's odd is that she said, if you look at that speech last night, she complimented Barack Obama, and then she kept saying, and I promise that I will back the nominee. Yeah. It was kind of some weird wording.
But she laid out the way she can win the nomination. Make Florida and Michigan count and get those superdelegates to understand that she wins the swing states, which is really what the election's all about, swing states.
I guess.
You know what needs to be on the ballot, and this needs to be on every ballot, on everything, everywhere. None of the above. If they put none of the above on the ballot, me and millions like me who are so disenfranchised and so tired of the lesser of the two evil thing would really go to the polls.
Oh, Joey, the disenfranchised guy. Nah, it doesn't work.
You know what? I have to tell you, I don't, people say that's such, first of all.
I'm disenfranchised.
Why would you go to the polls to vote for none of the above? Well, that doesn't do anything.
Because
That's just.
If they got enough none of the above votes, then just maybe they might start getting the message. Because, you have to think about
message?
it.
No, they wouldn't.
That there are no third-party candidates. They have made it so difficult for a third party to get in any kind of debate, on any kind of ballot, and this is everywhere at every level.
Hey, Joey, how about this?
It's a two-party dictatorship.
Who cares if it's two parties?
Well, it's not just the two-party thing. It's a dictatorship between two parties.
Nah, baloney.
It's not even a democracy anymore.
It's the
Let's start a third
the way
party.
people want it.
Start a third party, the Schizo Party.
No, you know what?
We're for everything.
Why don't you vote for Bob Barr from Georgia? Vote for him.
Yeah, vote for the Libertarian.
Period. I gave up voting a long time ago, and I'm not going to start again.
Then you could get on a jury, Joey.
Why doesn't
I don't
Barack
want to get on
Obama?
a jury, man.
Why doesn't Barack Obama just stand up and start saying, "Look, I'm half white. Okay?
Half of you should be voting for me.
Yeah, I'm half white, and if you keep voting, against me
He's a
because
hybrid.
I'm black, yeah, I'm a hybrid. That's exactly right. Sean, does he ever say that? Does he ever go, hey, I'm half white? Have you ever heard him say...
I don't know why he doesn't promote that.
Yeah.
It would be a slap in the face to the black community.
He ought to say he's 51% white.
Yeah. Or
He could
53.
he could probably, His mother, by the way, I guess she
From
would,
Kansas?
I don't know where she's from.
she's
Is she from
Kansas,
Kansas?
sure.
So she went there to this rec center in Hawaii or something, right? And she meets a black guy at the rec center, and then he ran off to Kenya and all. And the next guy I think's a Hawaiian guy, So she, whoever came into the rec center.
Very international.
Very international.
The UN.
Yeah.
Of kids.
Sean, does he ever say that he's half white? Does he ever throw that out there to anybody?
Oh, he avoids the race issue altogether.
I got an email from Don of Texas. He says, I can't vote for Barack Obama because I'm afraid he'll make Rodney King a Supreme Court justice. That's
I thought you'd make Rodney King,
No,
which I would go for.
No, Supreme Court justice. That's how stupid.
Rodney.
That's how dumb
King
people are.
That's how dumb racists are.
That's right. Oh, you're not racist? I think when you first started here you were racist, and now that you're an international
What always gets
superstar.
me about racism, especially like anti-Semitic people, they always hate the Jews because the Jews killed Christ, yet they're Christians. And they don't get the connection that if Christ didn't die, he would have died for your sins, so you should be grateful that the Jews killed him, you dumb son of a bitch.
Wasn't Jesus a Jew?
Well, yeah.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the one that always throws me. God knows exactly what's going to happen. And so he knew that Christ was going to die. He knows what's going to happen to all of us. They get
What's
caught
going to
in their
happen
own...
to Joey?
I don't know. Joey can go as far as he wants to go.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you realize,
the world
Joey,
is your oyster?
God already knows what's going to happen to you, Joey? How do you feel about that? They already know it.
I'm an atheist.
He knows that.
Good. Fuck him. He's an asshole.
Jesus Christ.
Step back, dude.
God's a complete fucking asshole.
All right.
God is a complete fucking asshole.
There's a time
Think about
limit
it.
on
Do
Joey.
you want to spend eternity in heaven with Jerry fucking Falwell and Jimmy fucking Swaggart? Does that sound like a good time to you? Have you ever met one of these watchtower assholes at the bus stop trying to hand you that friggin' magazine and say, oh, gee, I want to spend eternity with you, man?
Sean, I think your plan's working.
You know what? Sean Kelly has given this man advice, and I think he's taken it. So you would rather be in hell with the whores and the drug dealers
The
and all
whores and the rock stars and
Right.
the lawyers.
You want to... all of the
I want to be with the
lawyers?
lawyers.
All right.
All right, the question of the day now. What was the
Yeah.
question of the day again?
I don't know. What was it?
What happened to this guy? That didn't
When's
have
this phone
anybody
call
else
going to be
in the
over?
war?
What happened? No, I answered the question already.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, he was a German guy.
You do know that New Orleans and Louisiana were the first to surrender during the Civil War.
Well, of course they were.
Isn't that great?
At halftime.
Yeah. Well, remember...
Before halftime, in the first 2 seconds.
Remember, there's a lot of French blood running through the veins of people down in Louisiana, you know?
Oh, yeah, we gave up quick and started selling liquor to the fucking north.
You betcha. All right, Joey the Schizophrenic, good luck. When's your next open mic night in Seattle? When are you going?
Well, I'm going to find out as soon as I get that computer. I got to get some clothes together, and I've already found out how I'm getting there on a bus, and then I'm just going to hang out all night until the buses start running again. I'll find me an open diner or something and drink coffee and read the paper.
What does that have to do with you going on stage?
Well, it's just a matter of me being able to get home.
You'll get home. Once you get on stage, you're going to meet a woman who's going to take you home.
Oh, that's true, too. Last time I did, and she let me finger her. Unfortunately,
You
I had
mean
to go
when
to
you-
the bathroom of a bar to jerk off.
Wait a second.
I can't
Wait a minute. When you were on stage just one time, you met a
I've been
woman.
on stage about 5 times.
And you
That
met a...
one
and-
time I killed.
Okay, the one time you killed, the other times didn't go well. Well, what you do is you have a better plan, you know, and memorize your material, and then new stuff will come to you on stage, right, Rodney? After you
Well,
memorize
I'm not going to do it till I got a solid 10 minutes.
it. All right, good. All right. So you won't have sex again until you get a solid 10 minutes?
Oh, no, I'll be trolling the internet for pussy, trust me, as soon as that computer gets there. I'm good at that. I got a phone and a place to cook dinner for a broad now. I was trolling the internet for pussy at the University of Utah, living in a homeless shelter, and I got laid several times.
By the homeless?
No, by real women on the internet. Lonely women, mostly Mormon girls. Mormon girls are better than Catholic girls, really.
Now, did you tell them you were homeless?
Oh, yeah, I told them I was homeless and living in a shelter. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got the 49-cent joke of the day.
What is it?
Okay. Why do you go camping with two Mormons instead of one?
I don't know.
Because if you go camping with one Mormon, he's going to smoke all your cigarettes and drink all your beer. That's why you need to take two. That way they're too busy watching each other to smoke all your cigarettes and drink all your beer.
That's your joke of the day? That's your joke of the day?
I said it was a 49-cent joke of the day.
Now, here's my question. You're homeless. These women, don't just want sex. They'd probably like to meet somebody and be with them, and they had you come over. Did any of them want you to stay longer than the night?
No. In fact, the one chick that I did have sex with wanted me to leave before the guy she was living with came home.
I see. All right. Joey the Schizophrenic, play his music. Go ahead. Soon to be. And by the way, let's go, where is he? Go to MySpace.com, of course, /Joey Schizo, SKITZO. Or go to Crazy with 2 Z's, Crazy Effing Joey, right? Is that right?
Crazy.
At live.com.
Thank you very much.
All right, the Jay Thomas Show at... Fred, it's the Jay Thomas Show, 888-4-102-102. Don't forget, go to jthomas.com, jthomasshow.com, and see what we have for sale. Client 9 T-shirts. We probably can take those down, Sean. I think that Client 9 thing is over. Pretty much over. Don't you?
No, because actually the court case is just starting. All the people who are accused of running the ring are just going to court right now. So
it'll have legs. Yeah. It'll have brand new legs. Yeah. It's a mess down there, which Ronnie Lee Conover thought of a long time ago, and of course all of it. Remember, and then of course the Dalai Lama with over his head in Chinese, screw China. The Dalai Lama, of course, and of course it's for the kids.
Hello,
all the money that's raised is for the kids. Fred of Kansas, how are you?
I'm doing fine today, Jay. How are you doing?
Good. What can we do for you?
Well, how you doing, Rodney? I have to vote with the Rodney believers because there's times that he livens the show up really well, Jay, because there's times that you are just really fucking boring.
Well, how's it feel there, Jay?
That doesn't bother me at all.
Doesn't feel good, does it?
No, now I'm going to ask.
Yeah,
no,
it doesn't feel very good, does it? When you hurt people.
No, here's the difference.
You spent all day hurting me.
No, here's the difference.
It's coming back.
Here's the difference. I want to know what he's talking about. So just give me an example of when I'm boring. I'd like to hear your critique.
Well, like earlier this morning, Rodney was doing all his, or earlier in the show, he was doing all his movie jokes and everything, and he was just spontaneous, keeping it rolling, and you'd come out with, some lame one, and, a lot of times when you keep saying you're going to do this, you're going to do that for these people that you're going to interview, you never do any of it. It's all talk. So sometimes you're just plain boring, Rodney at least livens things up.
You think he should have been throwing all of those in there during the Gene Hackman interview? How long do you think Gene would have stayed on the phone?
Well, not only Gene Hackman, but these other guests that you have, too.
So Rodney should just say whatever he wants to, whether they hang up or not?
Well, Rodney tends to sometimes overdo it, but most generally, he's at least got some, he at least knows the subject, most generally, and he often has the wit goes well with the way he presents it.
I think that's the best of.
You want to hear this call again on Friday?
It's the best of.
Sean, we'll run this call on Friday from Fred the asshole from Kansas.
Heard him, Fred.
Fred the asshole of Kansas.
Okay.
You know what, Fred? I listen. You can think whatever you want to think.
Don't be hurt.
No, I'm not hurt.
Oh, you should see him, Fred.
No, I try my best. And every now and again, I guess.
See the hurt.
I know I'm not hurt at all.
You know what? I'm gonna.
No, I try my best.
I'm really gonna cheer you up.
No, I try my best.
You know what, Jay?
What is it?
Even though you're boring, I still listen to your show.
You know what? Fred doesn't mind taking a dump without a magazine. That's the kind of guy he is. Okay? All right.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Fred. All right.
It hurts, doesn't it?
We have emails at Jay Thomas.
Hurts, don't it?
No, it doesn't. jthomas.com.
You've got mail.
Mark says you did a show about fetishes Have you guys ever heard of a shrinking fetish?
Shrinking?
He doesn't say what it is. He says, I've heard of it.
You sure it's not shrink wrap?
I don't know what a shrinking fetish
I know what a
would
shrink
be.
wrap
Or
fetish
sharking?
is.
No, it's shrink. SHRINKING.
Shrinking.
I know. I never heard of it. He says he's heard of it, but he'd like to know more about. It says
that sounds like one I don't even want to hear about. You know?
Shrinking woman. I know. I have no idea what a shrinking.
Let's not go into that.
You know what?
That makes you sick. Those fetishes.
We had a guy on. What's that? What is it?
It's where you it's a pretend. It's all imaginary that a woman's really small and you put her in your body or things like that, or you're really small and then go into a woman, like you shrink
you
down.
Pretend you're shrinking.
You know, they Photoshop pictures to look like it. That's what I think it is.
And so it's a fetish you do on the internet or at your computer.
Yeah.
So you would make yourself really little.
How many points do you get in the World of Warcraft for that?
And you would show
intelligence.
Wait a minute, Garrett. You would show yourself going inside of her.
Yeah, I think many people have this fantasy of
+7 intelligence.
And so it'd be like the Dennis Quaid movie where they shot him. You know, whatever it is. It's a Small World. What was the name of that movie?
It's a Small World.
What was the name of that
World?
movie? No, they shot him.
No, he's in a little spacecraft and he flies through the body.
But it's a
I know what you're talking
a medical thing, right? They're going in to help, and Marty Short is in it, I think.
I don't know.
And they get shot into somebody's
flies around.
Yeah, inner
space.
Inner space. It's a Small World, something like that. So you shrink people, and then you show the man going inside.
I know what it is. You watch that movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and you jerk off to it.
All right.
Rick Moranis.
This is from Jake. I look forward to the show every day. Is there a serious management email address that I can write to compliment the show? I would give it out, but that would also allow the people that hate the show,
yes,
they would know where to send it.
Let's not tee it up.
We do not give out. Sean, we do not give out.
We don't want management to be barraged with all this positive email.
Yeah, we do not give out the show.
They've got better things to do.
Ken Wassing says, I love the show when you had all the technical difficulties, and then you got on the phone and you drove around and you acted like, not acted like, he says acted like, but you drove around, you interviewed people, went to the gas station, you went to the dry cleaner, you found a guy, you went to the fire station. Why don't you do that more often? Well, it's a very small town. I pretty much went to all the places you would go. I got lucky, is what happened. We had a technical difficulty. I was on the telephone, and I decided, what the hell? So I started going around.
It's a fun show.
But you know what? It's not, it
takes a certain skill to pull that off.
That's fine, and thank you. But also...
Probably the day Fred from Kansas was listening. That's my guess.
But it was done. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you need to do it again, or, if I got on the telephone and like if, let's say, later I just get on the phone, I start driving around, those people may not be available, Maybe there is a God, because he shut down the station that day. There was like an electrical malfunction, and he knew that there was to be a guy walking down the street with a car battery on his shoulder.
He does know everything.
But I missed a great line that day.
What was that?
The guy has a car battery on his shoulder.
Knock it off.
Remember that guy?
Sure.
He had the little Duracell or something. Michael Green. Jay, I'm not sure you'll remember me. I used to come up to visit you at the Big Ape in Jacksonville, Florida. We used to have a King Kong sound at the top of the hour. Oh! And then there would be the ID forever. You could hear him up and down the East Coast. I used to hang out as a young lad wanting to be a DJ, and you and some of the jocks showed me around the station. My dad owned all the Dairy Queens in Jacksonville. And I finally got into radio, and I'm now 30 years in radio. I wanted to thank you for helping me get into a business that I love.
Radio, or was he working at Radio
Green.
Shack?
Michael, I hope your dad left you a ton of money, because if you're still in Jacksonville 30 years later, you haven't made a penny. I know that. But I do remember, what's really weird? I was really I wasn't making a lot of money, and I needed a job, and I wanted to be, and there was a Dairy Queen nearby. I think I went into the Dairy Queen and met this guy because I was thinking of working at the Dairy Queen to make extra money. And that's how I met this guy. And so I was showing him the radio station so I could get a job at the Dairy Queen. I'm not kidding. And he didn't realize it. You know, I made I was making like a part-time salary. I was in college. I hadn't gone full-time yet or whatever. And I needed extra money. And, you know, what the hell was minimum then? $3 or something stupid.
Oh, less than that.
But I like to cook hamburgers, and I thought, you know, I'm a short-order cook anyway. So isn't that weird? I wanted to work at Dairy Queen, and I do remember meeting the guy. I'd stop there and get like a
dilly bar.
A dilly bar. Was Gene Hackman in that?
I believe he was.
Dilly Bar?
He was in Dilly Bar, too.
Don, normally I enjoy the show, but you and Rodney were in rare negative whining form yesterday. Obviously jealous of Jeff Probst, who is a really nice guy. Why would you two smear him? I'm beginning to think I only listen to hear Madison talk about her tits and her psychosomatic problems. Jay, you're a typical hate-filled liberal that has nothing more to offer than complaining.
That's true.
Why don't you get in your bunny suit and hop in front of a moving bus? Don of Austin, Texas.
If you hopped in front of a bus that wasn't moving, it wouldn't be much of a point.
Don, we read an article. Now he pulled off of you pretty quickly. We read an article about Jeff Probst and about him only having friends on this friggin' show, The Survivor, and going to the therapist, that Survivor, and everything else. It's a sad commentary on someone's life. And then when you hear him interviewed or see him interviewed, it's like, I have to tell you, you have to admit who you are. And that's all I was saying. And no, I'm not jealous. If I did that show, and I'd been on there for 17 seasons, or 9 years, whatever it is, I'd have said, hey, I'm a friggin' announcer. I'd have made all kind of jokes about the Holiday Inn, it's 5 minutes from the beach and everything else. But I never get hired in those shows because they know I'm going to fuck around and like make fun, and that's against the rules. Same thing with the quid shows and everything else. What's that, Garrett? What'd you say? We'll just break soon. I'm not going to break right now. Okay. Got something to say. This is from AJ. Jay, you are an idiot. First, you make a crazy statement that the NBA is fixed.
That is crazy.
I will only listen to you again if you give me evidence. And then you compared the NBA to Highlight, saying that Highlight is fixed. Fucking Highlight. Comparing the NBA to Highlight. That's like comparing the Fonz to Remo da Vinci. Or comparing the legacy of the Easter Bunny in Santa Claus to Rocky Balboa. Why do you keep bringing up this shit? Or comparing any other
piece... Was that part of the letter, or was that you?
No, it's right there. Santa Claus movies to Rocky Balboa.
Let me see that.
No, you can see it.
Let me see that.
You don't have to hold it. It's like comparing the longevity of Love and War to 60 Minutes.
No, the part about why do you keep bringing up this shit? Is that in the letter?
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Well, it should have said that. He didn't say that. I could go on and on and on, but I think you get the point. You're a fucking idiot. Look, I thought about this yesterday. Doesn't it seem that they tie things up at an inordinate amount in the NBA? Not that it's fixed like a conspiracy or whatever, but it's like kind of like unspoken. That when you get up 2-0, you don't want to embarrass, because they're going to lose their jobs. Guys who lose their jobs, they get blown out, right? You don't think that it's not at least in their subconscious, Rodney, that these NBA guys tie the damn thing up every now and again?
No.
I do. I would do it for you. If you were on a team, I was playing for the Hornets, and you're playing for, who the Hornets playing? Suns? Who are they playing? I don't know who they're playing. Playing somebody. I wouldn't want you to get blown out. I'd let you win a couple. That's all.
You're a giver.
I am a giver. It's the Jay Thomas Show. Stay where you are. The man who wants to sell us a $14,000 toilet is next at Sirius Stars 102.
This is Chris T.
And this is Meredith Oaks from Freewheelin' on Road Dog Trucking. This week we're taking you live to the Great American Trucking Show in Dallas.
Truckers from all over the country are getting together to check out the latest gear, talk shop, and show off their big rigs.
Join us along with special guests including the Chrome Shop Mafia beginning Thursday at 11 a.m. East, 8 West.
Come on and tune in Road Dog Truckers Radio.
It's the Great American Trucking Show on Freewheelin' beginning Thursday.
Road Dog Trucking, Sirius 147.
Help, I've fallen, and I can't get up. If you have an elderly loved one, please listen. Whether it's fire danger, a serious fall, or other type of home emergency, Life Alert is there for you. The company with the slogan, Help, I've Fallen and I Can't Get Up, protects 100,000 members.
The first time I fell in that bedroom and I couldn't reach the phone.
When you have a heart attack like I did and there's no one there, Life Alert was there for me.
Having a secure feeling through Life Alert is ideal.
My independence is possible because of it.
Listen to former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. C. Everett Koop.
Thanks to Life Alert, you can live alone without ever being alone. That's why I wear one.
With Life Alert protection, elderly people can often postpone going to a retirement home for several years. For a free brochure about Life Alert service, call now. 1-800-851-9922. 1-800-851-9922. Call Life Alert now for your free brochure. 1-800-851-9922. 1-800-851-9922.
When you think of stuffed animals, we all visualize the standard everyday teddy bear. Now imagine that same cute stuffed little teddy bear all grown up. Introducing BigPlush.com, home of giant, enormous, oversized, super soft stuffed animals. We're talking about 8-foot-tall teddy bears, 7-foot-tall bunny rabbits, 6-foot-tall soft, squishy monkeys, snakes, giraffes, pandas, crocs. You name the animal, they'll likely have it in a giant stuffed size. And most of their inventory is made in the USA. Just log on to BigPlush.com and check it out. Imagine a teddy bear that's taller than a pro basketball player, delivered on a dolly. Your giant stuffed animal can come with a custom t-shirt, too. Log on to BigPlush.com and type in the promo code 132 for a great radio discount. What a great present or corporate gift. Log on to BigPlush.com, enter promo code 132 or call 1-800-238-9481. 800-238-9481. BigPlush.com or 1-800-238-9481.
Why do we have a best of? Because we're good. I stole that, actually, from the old Mouseketeer show. Sirius Stars 102.
Who's gonna throw the toilet? Who's gonna throw the toilet on the roof? We already smashed the TV with the guitar and all that glue. Who's gonna throw the toilet? Who's gonna throw the toilet on the roof?
We're able to find music that fits almost every guest. These are the Bouncing Souls. And let's welcome Holger Barron to the Jay Thomas Show. Go to Herbeau. Is it Erbo.com, Holger? Is that how you say it? Erbo?
Yes, Erbo.com, yes.
How are you? Are you from France or?
Actually, I'm originally from Germany, but I'm the president and CEO for the U.S. operations.
You're the president of this Herbeau company, and the reason why you're on, I was going through a magazine of toilets and stuff. I love to look at, stuff that's happening out there in the design world, and I see this $14,000 toilet that you're selling, right?
Right.
And the toilet is made to look or just like, was it Louis the 14th's toilet?
No, actually, it was it's named after Dagobert, which was a famous king, 629 to 638 after Christie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that was like a design contest in the 1970s, where Louis Herbeau had to come up with a unique design, and he created his throne, designed after that period of this king, which has some Gothic elements in it, and also, it's some very, medieval.
But it's a toilet though. It's $14,000, and it's a toilet.
It really is a throne, which can be used also to go to the bathroom.
So you can sit on it and have your minions come around you, and then in the middle of it, if you have to go to the bathroom, you can just lift up and would the king just poo in front of people all of a sudden, or did he?
Actually, I don't know if that's appropriate to talk about this, but
yes, it is. On Sirius Satellite, we believe in free speech.
Oh, okay, you do, huh? I'm not.
You can say whatever.
I'm not going to get in trouble, right?
No, you won't get in any trouble. Hold on, let's go to Sean Kelly, executive producer. If Mr. Barron discusses in detail what the king did in the throne, will there be any problem at all, Sean?
No, in fact, we have absolute clearance on any bodily function whatsoever.
There
all right,
you go.
Good.
Because you are doing it in a scientific way, Holger.
Yes, I will.
You can even say merde if you want to.
Okay. Now,
Merde.
basically, back then they didn't have television or satellite radio. They didn't have the internet or anything.
All right, let me guess. They didn't have television, radio, so when the king took a dump, they would watch it as if you're watching, the American Idol.
Right, exactly.
That's correct?
Exactly. But,
Wait a minute. So when the king was going to take a shit, they would say, the king's going to take a shit, and they'd all come in and they'd watch him?
it was more like behind the curtain. I mean, it didn't exactly watch him, but it was like a spectacle of the day. And King Dagobert got very famous because in one of his meetings, he showed up with his pants on inside out. And there's still the song about Le Royaume King Dagobert, which the children sing in Paris, or the streets, in Paris. And it's about the king showing up at the castle at this meeting with his pants on inside out. I guess he put him on the wrong way after
he went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So and then of course now I went to Versailles years ago, and one of the questions asked on this tour was where are the bathrooms, and the woman said that in the great castle or the great palace of there are no bathrooms.
However, I have to note in the Petit Trianon, which is the Petit Versailles, smaller. They renovated that. The government did the renovation. They put Herbaut faucets in there.
Now, was this king before Louis XIV?
Oh, yeah. It was way before. This is like 638 after Christie.
But he had a bathroom, and then later on, the other kings didn't have a bathroom. I don't get that.
No, he didn't have a bathroom. It's just designed after him.
So, but I mean, the other kings didn't have a throne that could also be used as a toilet.
No, there was no bathroom between the Romans and the Victorian age. Toilet didn't exist, so this is like a fictional toilet,
Now, I was told that a duke's job, when I was in Versailles, one of the jobs of a duke is the king would squat, like let's say he would have to go, and he would squat, and the duke would wipe him. Did you ever hear that?
I'm not on national radio, I am.
Yes, international radio.
International radio, great. Okay.
I'm asking a question because this is what the woman said on the tour of Versailles, and I've quoted it any number of times after coming back from my vacation in France, that a duke would use a silk handkerchief, and I thought, wow, I never want to be a duke,
What I know, they use the stairs. Any party they had, people would go down the stairs and...
That's right. They showed us the stairs, and they said the king would go... He would just stop on the stairs to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, no, the king would go behind the curtain. That was a separate...
He would go behind a curtain.
He had his own hidden compartment to... he would not go with all
people
the
watching. Right.
I mean, he would not ordinarily go to the steps. I mean, that was...
Well, it's natural to go to the bathroom. The fact that we've made it dirty, you know what I'm saying, is kind of silly.
No, I think it's more, I think in Europe they have a more healthy relationship with the toilets than here.
I do too. I really do. Now, go to Herbeau, HERBEAU.com. Yes. Holger Barron is with us. He is the CEO. And now this $14,000 Dagobert, how do you say it exactly?
Right, Dagobert.
Dagobert. So for $14,000, what do you get?
Okay, you get the toilet, right? It comes with a music box. When you open up the lid, it plays that song, Le Royaume King Dagobert.
Oh, it plays the song about the king having the pants on inside out.
Exactly. And then it also has a little bell. So when you flush, it rings a bell. And so your maiden can pick you up, your mate.
Sure.
And it has a candle in case, electricity goes out. What's happening in New York all the time. So we sell a lot in New York, obviously, And then... it has a modern 1.6-gallon flush mechanism behind the...
Now, $14,000 is a tremendous amount of money for a toilet. How do you base the value? I mean, is the wood something spectacular?
No, this is all a limited production, handmade. And, with Herbaut is really more like a, we trademarked the name Couture, Kitchen Bath, and Powder Room Couture, and it's really more a piece of art. So people are willing to, have something unique and they pay a little bit more.
So you say go to the throne and there it is.
Yeah, especially for us guys, that's the only time where we can still feel like a king, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Since we don't have anything to say anymore.
No, we have nothing to say. It's all over for us.
Right, exactly.
So the last thing we have is that the last throne we can sit on is a crapper.
Right, so why not make it a real throne, you know?
Exactly.
I would
Now, how many have you sold?
We sell quite a bit of those, actually. You know, George Harrington used to own one, you know, and a lot.
George who?
George Harrison.
The great Beatle had one of these $14,000
Right.
bowls? Wow.
Yeah.
What about Donald Trump? Does he have one?
You might give him a call. Maybe he does.
I will go call the Donald. We'll find out.
Let's get Donald on the phone. I want to see if he has one.
So, I mean, incredibly, whatever happened to George Harrison's throne? Do you know?
I don't know. I know that. I don't know. I know
You
that.
think? Yeah, you know what's funny is that after he passed away, I wonder if he left it to somebody he didn't like. You know what I mean?
Or maybe, I don't know. Maybe, or maybe somebody he really likes. It's Harbaugh after all. You know,
And so-
the thing with Harbaugh, it's like an antique. You know.
Yes.
It doesn't go out of style. And that's why people are also willing to pay a little bit extra for Harbaugh, because it's something timeless.
So it has resale value.
I don't know if at all it has resale value. That's maybe stretching it a little bit, you know.
Well, I'm just trying to make things better.
Yeah, I know.
Now,
Thank you.
also,
Appreciate it.
does it just fit in regular plumbing? So you put it in $14,000, and then you hook it up to the regular plumbing, and it's done.
Yeah, it's a regular plumbing, yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, Holger, thank you very much. Holger Barron is the CEO of Herbeau Creations, HERBEAU.com, and you'll not just see the $14,000 Dagobah toilet, but you'll see all the other stuff. Thank you so very much for being with us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Bye-bye.
There you go. Didn't think it was true, did you? The $14,000 toilet, only heard on the Jay Thomas Show at Sirius Stars 102.
It's like air conditioning from your radio, keeping you chilled out this August. Chill. Chill. Nobody loves me. Chill. Sirius Channel 35. 100% commercial-free music to chill out to.
How would you finish this sentence? Someday when I retire, I want to. Nobody has exactly the same answer, but we all pin a lot of hope on being able to achieve the retirement we want. At Regents and Morgan Keegan, we're very interested in how you finish that sentence, and we're uniquely positioned to help you achieve those goals. The financial advisors at Morgan Keegan bring sophisticated portfolio management and wealth accumulation and preservation strategies to the table. Their experience can help you create a retirement plan you can believe in. Just think, the place you turn to for your changing banking needs can also be the financial institution you trust to guide you to the most important destination of your life. Simply visit your Regions branch, call 1-866-951-9511, or log on to Regions.com/retirement to put all our resources in motion for you. Regions, it's time to expect more. Morgan Keegan members NYSE, SIPC. Securities and insurance products offered through Morgan Keegan are not FDIC insured, not guaranteed by Regions Bank, and may lose value.
Move up to Trans Am Trucking, a long-haul trucking leader with a reputation of service, professionalism, and reliability. Trans Am has new opportunities for experienced OTR company drivers and student graduates of certified schools. Plus, Trans Am has the best lease purchase program in the industry, an outstanding owner-operator program, and Trans Am now pays practical miles. This means more money in your pocket. Trans Am offers one of the industry's best benefit packages. Get home time, get paid, get respect. Call Trans Am at 800-370-9609 or visit transamtruck.com.
Can you guess what that sound is? Let me help you out. It's a jail cell door getting slammed shut after you've been booked for DUI. Don't think you'll get caught? Think again. Officers are cracking down from coast to coast this month. So listen up. If you drive impaired, you will pay. Drunk driving, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
You're listening to the super spectacular Best of Show, Sirius Stars 102.
This could take all night. Think I need a devil to help me get things right. Hook me up a new revolution. 'Cause this one is a lie. Saddle
the Jay Thomas Show at Sirius Stars 102. And we've had Gene Hackman. We had the man with the $14,000 toilet on just now. You know, kept asking me, you know, are you able to talk about this on national radio? Absolutely, we could talk about it on national radio. And coming up, one of the actors from Sex and the City, it's going to be it's considered, you know, with Iron Man and Speed Racer and all this stuff, it is considered one of the few, you know, just kind of actor-type movies that may come in with a huge amount of money the first weekend.
Right. Sex and the City?
Yeah, the Sex and the City movie. They think... Now, my wife and her girlfriends, and she's watched it forever, they're going to go to some store, and they're going to buy a bunch of, like, outfits.
Right.
And they're going to dress up like the characters. Now, these are women, you know, from 40 to 50 years old. They're going to all dress up and go see this Sex and the City. Have you ever watched an episode of it?
I have not.
You would actually enjoy it, and I'll tell you why. You love free speech, and you love...
I do.
They talk about stuff, sex stuff, about, you know, I mean, penis sizes and... that. I mean, I did not, you know, you watch, when you're with somebody, you watch stuff, and then, you know, you do it to be, you know, with them, right? And then I got into it. Now, I didn't watch every episode, but who did we have on? Garrett, somebody played a mother or somebody on that show, and she came on and she said, well, you know, it's really about gay guys talking about other gay guys.
Right.
But at the same time, women love the show because it's kind of like what's in their head, even if they don't talk about it with their...
Is it? Or is it just what they would like to be?
You know what? My wife is the only one that can answer.
I don't know.
Sean, is she around? Is my wife around,
He's
Sean?
talking to her now, yeah.
Oh, you see, Sean knows where my wife is at all times. So that's it.
Hey, now.
Well, should we say her name or just not?
We've said her name.
We have Sally. Sally, you there, sweetheart?
Hold on.
Put her on. She doesn't like to do this, but I don't know. I mean, I watch the show, but Sally?
Yes?
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Doesn't like this. Rodney is here, so
Hey,
he'll help.
Hi.
We're having this guy, Evan Handler, come on. He's the actor who plays Harry Goldenblatt on the show. And he's going to be in the movie. And so we were going to, I don't know all the questions to ask him. So he's married to who on the show?
Charlotte.
Who is Kristen Davis?
Yes.
Now, he's not... Now, I thought he was the gay guy. Isn't there? They have a bald-headed gay guy friend?
Yes, but that's not who he is.
He's not?
No, he's not. He's married to Charlotte, and they are in the process of adopting a baby girl from China. So you need to know...
You think that's in the movie, though?
I don't know. That's what you have to ask him.
So you think the movie is just like the show ended, and then the movie would just be... That's what you're hoping anyway, right?
That's what we're hoping, and we're hoping that Carrie and Big get married, and we need to see some fabulous dress on Carrie.
So do I ask him who made the dress? Do people care about that?
Oh, yeah, who the designer was.
Okay, now, they already showed in the newspapers, Chris Noth and Jessica, Jessica, whatever her name is.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah, that's right. Sarah, you know, I kissed her one time. You know that, don't you?
Ask me the question. What is it?
No, I kissed Sarah Jessica Parker.
I know you did.
How'd that make you feel?
Jay, I know that you're putting me on the air, so just... ask me the question.
So anyway,
don't worry, he kissed me too once.
They showed it.
That was at a hotel in
They already showed them in the wedding dress and all. Is there a chance that the wedding started and then didn't go through? Is that okay? Because they already showed the wedding dress. Okay,
yes, there's a chance.
All right.
Boy, nothing like getting yourself in trouble, is there?
No,
Jay?
I'm not getting in trouble.
No.
Hey, Jay, I have a question. You should ask why did they premiere the movie in London instead of New York? Because it's a New York kind of show.
That is a really good question.
Thank you.
How dare they?
Why'd they premiere in London?
How dare they?
So that makes the real fans like you
kind of mad.
Why don't you come back on when he's on? Because I don't know anything about the show.
You could interview him.
No, go ahead. No, Jay, you're the guy that interviews. Now that we gave you all of the information, you can ask some questions. Just try to let him talk. without peppering him with a million questions.
Jay, he's also got a book he's promoting too, and he was sick. He had
Jay, could you let someone else
cancer.
talk?
Hold on one second. Sean, he's promoting a book. What's the book about?
Well, the book is called "It's Only Temporary: The Good News and the Bad News of Being Alive," and it's sort of like a memoir of his life because he had serious cancer, acute myeloid leukemia in his 20s.
Oh.
So we have to talk about the leukemia first, and then we'll get into the movie.
Well, no, whatever you want, but just so
why are you
know
laughing, Garrett?
Because you sounded so reluctant.
No, but I mean...
All right, I guess we'll have to talk about his life-threatening disease.
You are having... He is the guest on the show.
You know what, Sally? I don't need any, fucking advice right this second about how
I'm not going to give you any more questions.
Well, he's a tough guy in the air, isn't he?
Sal, listen.
Yeah.
Now watch
See you
this.
later.
No, don't hang up.
What?
Hold on one second. It is said, and I'm trying to think, there was a woman on there that played the mother, and she came on the show with me, and she said, it's really a bunch of gay guys writing about their sexual exploits, and it's not really about women. And I said, but isn't it the way women think about sex, even though they don't talk about it that much?
And what did she say?
Oh, well, she didn't answer that question.
Right, because she didn't know. But the reason it's so funny is because it seems as though you will know someone inevitably that will have had one of those experiences that they've all had. So that's what makes
even though it's gay guys writing about other men.
I think that there were some women in there that were throwing some ideas around.
So you think it does speak to women?
Yeah, of course it speaks to women.
No, but do you and your friends sit around and talk like Sex and the City? Because I'm horrified if you do.
Not anymore. We're too old.
Okay. Now, are you going to dress up when you go to the premiere? What are you going to dress up as? How are you going to do it? What are you going to do?
I'm going to find the most outlandish, outrageous conglomeration of things that I can find and just go have a Cosmo, which is, of course, the drink that they made famous, and then we're going to go to the movie.
Okay. Now, you sure you don't want to come on? What will you be doing in about 30 minutes? What are you going to be
Taking a nap, I told you. I have to take a nap before I go get Jake at school.
All right. I love you very much, don't you?
I love you, too.
And Sally, we all loved the little kitten gift that you gave him.
I'm holding it. You big fat liar.
I am, too. And I love it. You mean the one with a foot penis?
Goodbye.
I'll see you. All right, there she is.
Let's talk about her now.
She's not listening, that's for sure. So, there she is, the little lady. How about she's not even ashamed to say she's taking a nap? I could never even say. Like, if you call me and I'm asleep, it's dawn. I say I'm awake. You do the same thing.
True.
She doesn't. Hello?
I did admit to Sean the other morning, though, that I was asleep. And then I wish I could have got those words and put them back in my mouth.
I'm always going to a meeting, no matter what time it is. Someone calls me, it'll be like
4 in the morning. I'm just getting back from a meeting.
I'm just getting back from a meeting. That's right.
I'm just walking in. I just walked in.
When I'm going someplace and someone calls and says, do you have time to talk? Let's say I'm going to the grocery store. I'm just going into a meeting. Can I call you back?
Do you... When you get caught asleep and the phone rings, do you talk before you answer the phone so it's not your I just woke up voice?
No, I think I'm pretty... Well, it's funny.
I do that. I go, hello.
You practice before you hang...
Well, the first words out of your mouth when you wake up are like, it's obvious.
I tell you what I do. I take a deep breath so that I blow good air out. I go... Hello, like that, and so it's almost the thing.
Hello.
I go
give it some inflection.
Hello, like that, and the people say, "Did I wake you?" And I go, "No, why? What's up?" Like that. Why is that?
You know what else I do? I go Niello, like it's the 10th call I've taken that hour. Niello.
Yeah, like
Niello.
that. Yeah. Or here's another one I do. Hello, hold on a second. No, not right now. I'll talk to him in a minute. Yes. I pretend, I've been talking to the phone for hours. So,
why do we do that? Why can't we admit? Yeah, I was asleep.
I guess because it makes you seem like
lazy.
Lazy, or you have nothing going on in your life or something.
That's true.
But she doesn't care. Now, that's the other thing. She doesn't lie anyway. There's no lying. You can't exaggerate. You can't tell a lie. What did she say just now, Sean? Let him answer.
Oh, that was funny.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let the guest talk, Jay, I think was what she said. Just let him talk. In other words, like what the caller was telling me earlier, shut the fuck up.
I think I'm pretty good. I think I got better at that.
I don't think there should be any criticisms of your interviewing because I think it's it's well done.
Okay.
I mean, as the Gene Hackman interview illustrated very clearly, and that was such a good. Here's such a good interview. Here's how good it was. I shut up. That's a good interview. When I sit and listen and I'm enjoying. That's how you can tell. Did Rodney say anything? No.
So the toilet interview was really good?
No, I was out of the room.
Oh.
I knew that was going to suck.
He was taking a dump.
Yeah. In the $40 toilet over here at the studio.
Well, to get Gene Hackman to say that he rolled around on the ground.
Oh, the road rage fight was hysterical.
Now, of course, after it's all over, I wanted to think.
We worked in trading paint, which was nice.
Yeah, we did that. But the other thing I was thinking, and of course it was over, I wonder what the culmination of it was. Did the police come?
He's such a secure guy. He talked about being insecure, but clearly he's secure. He was, it kind of pissed me off. The guy didn't recognize me.
And he's fighting and he sees Heist.
Yeah. And still the guy doesn't recognize him.
That's going to run again on Friday, by the way, for those of you, who don't know.
Right after the Fred from Kansas call.
A big news in New York, and maybe it's made the whole country. This woman, Sue Simmons, who's been on the air with a guy named Chuck Scarborough for 30 years. They're like an old married couple, and she was on the air, and what happens is that Chuck reads the newspaper and does stuff, and Sue Simmons is very serious. This is him reading the paper. That's the picture. Is very serious about, doing the news. Not that Chuck maybe isn't serious, but he's been sitting there since 1980, next to this woman, and they do a promo. And sometimes it's live on the air, and sometimes it's taped. She thought it was being taped.
Right.
So she did the promo about what's coming up next, and he was reading the paper. Do we have the clip, Gary?
Now, who's she yelling
pay
at?
more at the grocer, but getting less will tell you how to get the most. The fuck are you doing?
Wow, that was really harsh.
Hold on. So he's reading the paper.
That wasn't just what the fuck are you doing. Just what the fuck are you doing? I mean, really harsh.
She's a tough one. Play it one more time, and then there was...
Listen to the inflection.
Yeah. At 11, pay more at the grocer, but getting less will tell you how to get the most. The fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
That was dead serious, man.
That there's anger there.
Like pent up.
So you're talking about the largest market in the United States, 15 million people. Wait, that's just the New York market. Figure it goes on the cable. So you're talking, let's say, 20 million potential, people in the market. Probably a couple, 2-3 million watch the newscast. Sean, are they number one? And they will be now. I bet you the tune-in is huge. What was her apology, Garrett? Do we have her apology?
We need to acknowledge an unfortunate mistake that I made, and one of the teases we bring to you before this program. While we were live, just after 10 o'clock, I said a word that many people find offensive. I'm truly sorry. It was a mistake on my part, and I sincerely apologize. And we'll be right back.
But she didn't say why she said. I wanted to hear why she said that.
He doesn't pay attention. He's reading the paper. That's the complaint. So
how do we know that?
Because I read this article in the New York Times. But this is the chicken shit part of it.
What are you doing?
What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, she did it like that.
Like she has had enough of this shit.
When an anchor curses on the air, it's instant news is the headline. Maybe this will teach Chuck Scarborough to stop reading the paper and start paying attention to Sue Simmons.
That's speculation. He's speculating.
I think they know that he does. I mean, I've heard this before.
Yeah, but it sounded to me like it was more than him just not paying attention.
She's just sick of it.
He must have been doing something like picking his nose or I don't know.
Chuck was reading something on the desk and not listening to his co-anchor. And it pissed her off. That's what it says.
Well, there you go.
Right.
But she's holding things in, don't you think?
Yes. I love that.
So, are they going to get fined $1 million by the FCC?
They might.
They better.
Nah. That's what makes me mad.
Look, if the FCC treats them differently than they treat us when we're doing comedy, that's bullshit.
She ought to show a nipple next time, just a little piece of a nipple.
I have a question for you.
Well, we'll come back.
What the fuck are you doing?
You see, you do that all the time. I'll be talking about something and you're not paying any attention. Now you know how it feels. It's Sirius Stars 102. What the fuck are you doing?
The fuck are you doing?
That's a promo.
I love that. God, it's so harsh.
It was filled with 30 years of anger.
Sirius brings you backstage from one of the most popular music festivals in the world. England's Reading Festival with Metallica, The Killers, Rage Against the Machine. Hear live coverage from the Reading Festival Friday from 10 to 1 p.m. Eastern. Plus updates Saturday and Sunday 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. On the Sirius station that brings you new music from the UK, BBC Radio 1, Channel 11.
So you want to stop smoking? Well, you could try the nicotine patch or gums to find out they have a success rate of 7% and no refunds when it doesn't work 93% of the time. Here's a better option. It's called All Natural Smoke Free, and it's a complete stop smoking program with no caffeine or nicotine. And here's the best part. You can try it free. Grab a pen and take this number down. 1-800-218-0291 to get your free order of All Natural Smoke Free. Call 1-800-218-0291. 1-800-218-0291.
Time's running out. You're maxed out on your credit cards. The collection calls are coming every day, and now you're 2 payments behind on your mortgage. Every time you turn on the radio, there's some cheerful couple telling you how they got out of debt overnight. Their stress is gone, and everything's just wonderful. Come on. The truth is, what sounds too good to be true is too good to be true. You need real help, and you need it now. Not bankruptcy. That should be your last choice. We're Credit Card Relief, and we've been helping people just like you for nearly a decade. We're the only attorney-driven program dedicated to helping you get out of debt in months instead of years, saving you thousands, and without risking your family home. We know what we're doing, and we don't make promises we can't keep. The consultation is free, and the relief is real.
Get out of debt. Call Credit Card Relief at 866-888-9801. Not available in all states. That's Credit Card Relief, 866-888-9801. 866-888-9801.
Drive the distance with Landspan. Their amazing and dedicated teams average 2,000 miles per dispatch, run coast to coast, and enjoy great benefits plus more. Or if you're a solo who wants to run regional in the eastern states, ask about Watkins Truckload Service. Honored, trusted, be a part of the Watkins legacy. Join them. Call Landspan today at 866-758-8921. That's 866-758-8921. Or visit them online at landspan.com.
The Jay Thomas Show on the Sirius Stars channel.
I think I make God laugh. And I got to tell you something. That's a burden sometimes. Right. It's a burden.
Sirius 102.
I'm Jay Thomas, and thanks for listening to this best of at Sirius Stars 102.
The distant future. The year 2000. The distant future. The year 2000. The distant
More Flight of the Conchords.
It is the distant future, the year 2000. We are robots. The world is quite different ever since the robotic uprising of the late 90s.
This is when the manager was doing a music video for him, but he was using a cell phone.
We no longer say yes.
They couldn't afford a camera.
He was shooting it on a cell phone, yeah.
Yes, affirmative.
That manager is the funniest fucking actor.
You can also rent
unethical treatment.
We ought to get these guys on if we can. The guys, they're from New Zealand.
Oh my God, would that be great?
All right, Sean, let's try and get the guys from Flight of the Conchords.
You know what else they're replaying now? Extras with Ricky Gervais.
I like Ricky Gervais. I like Extras. Okay, I'm not crazy about it. The original Office, the British version with Ricky Gervais, was so good.
It was so funny.
I don't get the American version.
Neither do I.
And
everybody loves it.
Big fans of it. I don't.
You got to give it another chance.
It's too serious.
It's too like on the nose, you know. Like The Office, the British version of The Office was just so subtly hysterical.
I watched an episode of the American Office with Steve Carell, and I knew how it was going to end. I knew the cliche ending. Mm-hmm. I knew what was going to happen. And it happened. And I forget the exact scenario, but when you watch the one in England, you didn't know what was going to happen, and the guy was oblivious to, I mean, Steve Carell is really good, but...
Yeah. You know that Extras is like an 80-minute long sitcom? I mean, it's unbelievable the laughs that they pack into that show. And it's great. I love that show. I wish he hadn't stopped doing it.
Well, you know, he makes so much money from the American version. They pay him just a bundle for that. Now, he's going to be in New York.
Yeah, we're going to see him, aren't we?
We'll have to try and get tickets. July 12th or something like that. By the way, Roddy brought up something before we went away. Are they going to fine WNBC in New York? And then she apologized. Do you notice in her apology, she said, I said a word that some people find offensive.
Play that again.
Can you play the apology again, please?
We need to acknowledge an unfortunate mistake that I made, and one of the teases we bring to you before this program. While we were live, just after 10 o'clock, I said a word that many people find offensive. I'm truly sorry. It was a mistake on my part, and I sincerely apologize.
That many people find offensive.
And then she said, we need to acknowledge. She's like spreading around the guilt.
Well, I think she's a pretty tough,
she's a tough
customer.
one.
Yeah, she's a tough customer. And poor Chuck Scarborough, he's been reduced to like...
He didn't even notice she said it.
Remember in the movie...
He was reading something.
Remember the movie Tootsie? Yeah. The old actor who was always trying to hit on her,
yeah. Soap opera.
Yeah, that's who Chuck Scarborough has become. At one time, he was like, you know,
the guy,
the big man, and the big handsome, you know, Chuck Scarborough. Now, Sean, have they talked any more about the FCC?
The controversy?
Anything?
No, there's been absolutely nothing. Absolute silence on this. So
I don't know why.
Well, the FCC won't act until there's been a complaint made, and we don't know if anybody's complained to the FCC.
Oh, there'll be a complaint. In fact, I'm writing it today.
I think you should call them.
I just complained.
Do you realize that if there's one complaint, they would always have to investigate, and they can make a decision whether you're proven guilty or not. I can remember, let's just take 8 or 10 years ago, the FCC had some number of complaints, and let's say it was 600 or 300 or whatever. It is now in the 40 or 50,000 person range, and it's because of mass mailings that these action committees do.
Jay, if I could just sound a word of caution about the FCC.
Yes. No. I thank you.
Thank you.
What I'm saying is that
that's Sean's version of moving on.
No. But they have to investigate when there's a complaint. They have to. And I can remember being in radio, one person would complain and they would investigate. So that's always been true. What has changed is how many thousands of people, do it now. Mm-hmm. And whether you think that's, agree with that or don't agree with that.
I just realized how much I love them.
Well, no, I've always... Now, let me say something. Do you know all the years I was in terrestrial radio...
Thank God they're around.
No. All the years I was in terrestrial radio, I never got a complaint. No. I never got in trouble.
And I never got a rating. So it's really...
You mean no one was listening? So
I'm
there was
sorry. Did I say that?
No reason to complain.
That was a big T-ball. A big old T-ball.
No, I wasn't going to put down the FCC. I happen not to have a problem with it.
I don't either.
You and I have never discussed that, Sean. I happen not to have a problem. I think what they have is they have a tough situation on their hands because you got all these, do-gooders out there, and it's been there forever.
You know what's a real tough situation for them?
What?
Is when fans yell in the stands at games.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, how do you stop that?
Well,
if they hear it on the broadcast.
They coaches too.
Well, the coaches, you could tell, hey, you can't do that. But how are you going to police 50,000 fans in a stadium? I guess you could have a delay, but nobody wants to do that.
Well, overseas after 9 o'clock at night, they say whatever they want to say. Apparently, they just go
overseas.
You know
why?
England, France.
You know why?
Why? Godless.
Bunch of ne'er-do-wells.
Godless.
Yes.
Coming up, Evan Handler, who is in the new movie as Harry Goldenblatt, Sex and the City, the movie, out at the end of May. We'll talk to him about his book. He beat cancer, and he was also in a pilot with O.J. Simpson. We'll talk to him about if he thought O.J. Simpson looked like a killer. I don't know.
Sex in the ER.
Yeah, and I'll ask him all the questions that my wife gave me a few minutes ago. For those who and Sex in the City, a lot of men are fans of it like me because, you watch it with your wife and your wife digs it.
You know, it was a big scam when I was in college.
What?
Was guys would watch All My Children, and if they could get the storylines and the characters, it was a conversation opener at a bar. Because All My Children was so popular. And then that Luke and Laura show, General Hospital, if you knew the storylines, you could talk to any woman. Hey, did you see blah, blah, but it's a big scam.
When my son and I were going around looking at colleges, we went into a dorm, and there were two guys sitting in the middle of the day, and they were watching a soap opera.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if they were doing that to be with the women. They were just,
Do you watch House?
I've watched it a couple of times. You're a big fan of it.
Yeah, one of the things Dr. House does is he's hooked on soap operas. It's a really funny storyline.
Hey, you know what? You were saying this earlier. Oprah had a show on about anal licking.
Yeah, now Oprah's also in our club now.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, so
what did they
we
call
love her as much as
analingus? Is that what they called it?
You know, you asked me what would happen if we talked about analingus on this show.
No, well, nothing on this show, but
no. Something would happen if we talked about analingus on this show.
What would happen?
I'd get a boner.
So they had I didn't see it. They had a whole show.
I believe Gene Hackman was in I'd get a boner.
Now listen, they had a whole show, but you see, because it's a medical show.
Right.
And I use my fingers as
I saw the quote finger quotes.
Yeah, quote. Medical show.
And laser. Go ahead.
Yeah. But but the thing is that...
Mini-me, we don't hump the laser.
Don't you know that while they're sitting in the meeting, they're saying how important this is going to be and everything else?
Yeah.
But the reality is...
They're just laughing. They're going to be, this is great rating.
You
know what we're going to talk about today? Ass licking.
I know. It's ass licking. And there's no other word.
No one says analingus when they're talking about it,
So, did you watch the whole show?
No. I got kind of sick.
They had experts on it, on everything?
Oh, yeah. What they were talking about, how kids, and it's funny.
Kids?
Yeah, kids. Teenagers.
You mean it's a new thing?
Well, the whole thing with teenagers is now, I understand, is they don't have intercourse nearly like we were having it when we were teenagers. And, it's the whole... pregnancy, AIDS,
So they do other things. They do
other things, and that's what the show was about. And one of the other things was this boner thing.
But isn't that something that you do? I mean, in the heat of battle, there are just all sorts of things to bite and eat and suck on and everything else, and it's just sitting there waiting for you.
I would think that's something you do with someone that you're pretty familiar with. You know what I mean? That's kind of a down-the-road activity, isn't it?
Yeah, if you know their cleanliness.
Well, not only that, but it's like someone's been your maid or your girlfriend for quite a while. I mean,
your maid or your girlfriend? Oh, I thought you were your maid.
You're your maid. She's clean, right?
Who is that? Who? Kurt. It's the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Kurt. How are you?
All right.
Lee Conover and I are having a scientific discussion.
Yes, very medically
oriented show. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. I used to drive a liquor truck making local liquor deliveries to bars that would open at 9 a.m., and I would go in there to make the delivery, and a bunch of old men would be watching soaps on the big screen TV behind the bar.
Well, they got to do something when they're getting loaded.
Yeah.
But to watch soaps?
I've never been a fan of soap operas, but I guess when you get into the story, whatever, I don't know. I've been on them, but I've never been a big. Because they have to drag it out. So if you rest for 3 years and come back,
that's what I've been told. You could watch something 3 years later, and you
come back in and you can kind of figure it out. Yeah.
What soap opera do you watch, sir?
Me?
Kurt?
None.
Yeah.
None.
How about? Did you ever watch Dallas? Remember that show, Dallas?
My mom watched it when I was a kid, but I never did.
How about, do you watch Sex and the City?
I've seen a couple episodes, but it is boring. Didn't like it.
Even were they not talking about sex when you watched it?
Were they talking about the city?
Yeah, right. I must have caught an episode where they were too worried about their dress and their career or some shit.
He should do the interview. This guy.
Yeah, they were too worried about their career or some shit. Yeah.
Okay.
Would you watch a show if a scientific discussion of analingus?
No.
How about a comedy show about analingus?
A
sitcom?
How about Cuddy's outfit last week?
Oh, my God. I cracked a big old boner watching that episode.
Oh, man, I couldn't believe it. I was just
she's hot.
totally whacking off. Yeah.
I cracked a boner.
Skirt, a bra half off. Shit.
I know. She's whipping them out left and right. And then, did you see the one where House has to give her shots in her hip twice a day?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Her entire ass was out. Her bare ass. Oh.
Yeah.
This is an actress on a TV show.
She is so hot.
Oh, she is. Yeah.
She's the hottest woman on television by far.
And she plays a character named Cuddy?
Cuddy.
Okay, it's a big show. Sean, do you watch House with your wife?
Me?
Oh.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Julia. She came in with a problem. Oh, he's coming back.
Hey, by the way, Julia Switzer's sister,
Tia Tequila or whatever,
is on the Tia Tequila show.
Tila Tequila?
Yeah.
Vying to be her lesbian lover.
We be analingus.
I'm not kidding. Julia Switzer's sister,
speaking of boners,
is vying to be the gay. We had the horrible bisexual woman on here, and guys are vying to screw her, and women are vying to be with her.
Have you ever actually seen that show?
Yeah, I watched a few episodes after we talked to her.
And
I hated it.
That's the worst show I've ever seen.
Oh, it's filthy. And you know what? Aren't they afraid of catching something?
It's so egregious. I mean, it's just one gratuitous thing after another. And it's like,
egregious. What is egregious? What does egregious mean? You're always throwing that word around. What's that mean?
It means it's like purposely overdone.
I see. And then perpetuitous, would you say after that? It's egregious and it's what?
Gratuitous.
Gratuitous. What does that mean? They tip a lot?
Yeah, a lot of
gratuity.
A lot of tippers.
All right.
Anyway, thanks for calling.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I love the show. I love Rodney. And you got a promo for the show that I really love, too, with Madison's voice talking about a little Italian there. And you got that guy giggling afterwards. That is.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because that's you.
Oh,
that's you, isn't it? That's your voice. I know you loved it.
Yeah.
You made the promo.
Can you get an autographed picture?
Sure, you have to just email it to jthomas.com, jthomasshow.com. If you want mine or Madison's or Rodney's or whoever, we'll send you one back, all right?
Fantastic.
You know that I was never invited back to one of those has-been conventions. I did.
Why?
I think
because you goofed on it.
And then the woman that runs them, her husband was Timmy from Lassie.
Oh, you totally goofed on it. And
we had him come on, and I interviewed him.
Yep, you shot yourself in the foot.
And I knew there was one coming up in May, and I never got invited to it.
You shot yourself right in the old foot.
But you
can't goof on those because it makes the people that do them feel bad about themselves.
Did we make fun of Timmy when he came on? No.
Oh, please. You didn't make fun of Timmy?
I didn't. I thought it was great. Timmy's in the Well. I thought the title of the book was great.
Garrett, did he make fun of him? Did he belittle?
Of course not. Jay wouldn't.
No, I really didn't. I don't think I did. But I noticed that I'm not getting invited anymore.
But when you talk about the has-been, first of all, just calling it the has-been convention,
yeah.
I mean, that kind of does it right
They don't
there.
like that. Right?
You certainly must have mentioned to Timmy something about has-been convention.
I did say that.
You might have said something positive, but just the name has-been. Nobody wants to be called a has-been.
But
Jay.
that's what you are when you go to one of those.
Nobody wants to hear it.
Why not? I don't get it.
Because
if you're
it makes
over,
them
you're
feel
over.
Bad about themselves. Not me. I'm a never was. But this guy is a has-been. He doesn't want to hear that. He's writing a book, for Christ's sake.
He hasn't acted since he was 6.
You're kidding me.
And he's 65.
Has-been. The fuck are you doing?
He's gone 59 years without a big hit, okay? That's a long time, okay?
You don't got to remind him.
And he still looks like Timmy.
Does he really?
He does.
Wow.
You know.
How old is that in dog years?
I don't. Well, you know, and I was thinking about emailing her and saying, hey,
this has been Jay.
You know, hey.
It has been a while since you've called me.
Either I insulted, whatever. Either I insulted the has-been you were married to,
or
the other has-beens, or I'm a bad has-been guest. Maybe that was it, you know.
Did you, I'm not going to.
I mean, pretty good money, too.
I was just going to ask that.
When the guy asked for the autographed picture, I mean, hell, you go to one of those things, you sell them for like $20, $25.
An autographed picture?
Oh, yeah.
$20?
You see the ones with me
You
on
and Mork?
Mork and Mindy? Oh,
that's a great chat. You know what? I'm sure people will tell you look so much like JT there. It's incredible.
$35 for that picture.
Get the fuck out of here.
And all I do is print them up for like, a dime a piece.
Yeah.
Over there. Now, those are in color. Those are a quarter.
Those are great.
And then I got the Murphy Browns over there. I got all of these. And every time I look at them,
Jay has the color one of Jay with Candice Bergen. It looks like he's about to plant one on her.
Yeah, no, when I'm in the...
You're about to trade paint.
I'm in the whale suit.
In the whale suit.
And now I've got...
And then there's the color headshot of it. Look at that.
Now watch. I made all these only for these conventions.
And then now what do you
Never got invited back to them.
Got a whole pile. Listen, if anybody wants an autographed photo of...
No.
Hold on a second.
No, don't do that, because I'm not getting rid of those.
Hold on. If anybody wants an autographed photo of Jay in the whale suit and Candice Bergen, it's $25.
No, we can't sell them on the air.
Oh,
can't do that.
Forget it.
Mm-mm.
These
Just
are not
put
for
those
sale.
Over there. Yeah, I'm going to go back to one of those. Stay where you are. Evan Handler's on the way. Go to evanhandler.com. He has a new book. It's Only Temporary, The Good News and the Bad News of Being Alive. He'll talk about that. And he has Harry Goldenblatt, married to the Kristen Davis Charlotte character in the new movie Sex and the City on The Jay Thomas Show, Sirius Stars 102.
If I gave you Barbara Walters and Jane Pratt and Richard Simmons, and I gave you Judith Regan, Candice Bushnell, Deepak Chopra, and I gave you Bill Bradley and Jay Thomas, and I gave you psychics Mario and Sonia Fitzpatrick, you'd be rich.
A wealth of talent. The Sirius Stars Channel, Sirius 102.
Attention all business owners. Could you use $50,000, $300,000 or more in lines of credit? Hi, this is Greg Zapper, president of Nevada State Corporate Network. Did you know the best hedge against a bad economy is to be incorporated so you can separate your personal credit from your business credit? Call us today to find out why more than 20,000 satisfied clients across the nation have used our services to get millions of dollars in credit, loans, cars, trucks, and equipment with no personal guarantee. You can have it all. Protect your assets, lower your taxes, and get business credit fast and easy. In today's economy, it is financial suicide to continue financing your business from your personal account. Call now. The first 50 callers will receive a $500 discount. Ask for the Zapper Corp and Credit Special. Call 866-854-5282. 866-854-5282. That number again, 866-854-5282.
I was drinking more than I should, and I knew it. I just made excuses and wrote it off as stress from work or problems at home. I thought I was functional, but then I realized that just being functional wasn't any kind of life at all. That's when I heard about a free CD from the National Institute for Alcohol Recovery. Turns out it's different from anything else out there, including 12-step or hypnosis. It's based on the latest clinical research, and it really turned things around for me.
This free alcohol recovery CD works in the privacy of your own home. It will give you everything you need to recover and succeed. We guarantee it. We are so sure of your success with our program that if you can find a better alcohol recovery program anywhere, we'll pay for it. So you have absolutely nothing to lose. For a free CD, call 1-800-773-5116. That's 1-800-773-5116. 1-800-773-5116.
The Jay Thomas Show. This is the kind of best of. Hope you're enjoying it. Spectacular Sirius Stars 102.
Yeah, but this is better.
The recognizable theme of Sex and the City. Hi, I'm Jay Thomas. Rodney Lee Conover is here. Find out all the links and everything of all of our guests, like Gene Hackman, who was on earlier, the man with a $14,000 toilet, and, of course, Evan Handler from Evan. Go to evanhandler.com. Your new book is It's Only Temporary, The Good News and the Bad News of Being Alive. And then we'll also talk about your Harry Goldenblatt part in Sex and the City. Evan, welcome to Sirius Satellite and the Jay Thomas Show. How are you?
Thank you so much, Jay. Great to be with you.
My wife,
millions of women just got up and their arms came up and they walked like zombies toward the sound of that music.
Yeah, exactly. My wife, we just spoke to her and has no interest in me or my interview style. But when she heard you were coming on, she asked me all of these questions, which I will ask you later about Sex and the City.
You should have just told her you can go buy his book and learn the answers to all those questions.
Do you talk about, It's Only Temporary, The Good News and Bad News of Being Alive, you talk about Sex and the City in the book?
I do. It's really only in one chapter. I mean, I talk about the transformation in my life of suddenly becoming well-known, and popular from one particular show, and how actually my fame with sexy, young, horny women happened the same night I went on the first date with the woman who became my wife. And as I was in the presence of this woman that I thought finally, at 41 years of age, I've met someone that I could make a life with, young women from across the avenue started calling out, "We love you, we love you." And I wondered whether it was the right moment to meet the woman who was my wife.
That's timing.
Now, you're kidding about that, but in reality, I mean, I've been through the same thing, that things aren't going well with women, and you hook up with someone, and then all of a sudden it looks like you can fuck everybody that's walking, right?
Yeah. Because the book is really about a guy gaining late maturity. I mean, for those who don't know, in my 20s I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, and it really wiped out a good portion of my 20s, and it wasn't supposed to be survivable, but I did. So the book tells the story of a guy who's declared cured and goes off to live the next 20 years of his life, really trying hard to outrun where he's been without wanting to arrive too fast where we're all eventually headed. So really not knowing how to live his life. Should he just live for the moment or invest in the future? And so there's a lot of relationship ridiculousness. My habit of going in and out of relationships, I described my 27 breakups that were spread over only 10 relationships. So I averaged 2.7 breakups per relationship. And eventually, after a long road, finding this beautiful woman who becomes my wife and having really a miracle conception and baby. So, it was a long sought thing to meet that woman, and then suddenly, to find that everyone wanted to screw me was ironic.
Hey, Evan, it's Rodney Lee Conover. I'm on the show. I really can relate to what you're saying. I had a similar thing where I kind of lost out of my 20s as well. And then you kind of spend your 30s doing what you think you missed out on in your 20s, right?
Yeah, the book is largely about a guy living his 20s in his 30s and eventually getting himself under some kind of control. I mean, really what it's about is a guy falling back in love with life, who felt life had betrayed him. And it happens through finding the love of my life, which is my wife. And so that's why a lot of it is told through relationships and the search for love. That was all true. And it took me a while to really trust again.
What is the book is, it's only temporary, the good news, and then the bad news of being alive. What's the bad news of being alive?
The bad news is that it's only temporary.
You're going to die, in other words.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too bleak on your radio show, but...
Well, Jesus, that's
so far it's cancer and dying. I mean,
Jesus.
Sex in the chemo room. What is it?
Jesus. So this leukemia, I am so I'm such a hypochondriac, and I worry all the time. How did you, is it a lump or something? Where did you find the leukemia?
You want me to describe something you can locate on your body right now, don't you?
Yeah, because when I read about somebody...
Because Jay's going to find it on him later.
No, when I read about...
Body, and then I can tell you, no, that's not a symptom of leukemia.
No, but what I'm saying is I used to have a discoloration of my skin come up, and I was positive that I had, some horrible thing, and I found that it wasn't, and every now and again it comes back, and I worry about it, and I get checked all the time.
And you notice it comes with a magic marker.
Maybe you need to see a doctor right now.
No. What were your symptoms?
I was going to do the opposite. I was going to reassure you. I'm sorry.
What were your symptoms?
I had, like a sore throat and a cold that didn't go away, and it led to a visit to the doctor, which led to some blood tests, and I had a breakout of what looked like a rash on my skin. It was actually little tiny blood capillaries bleeding through because you lose your ability to clot. From leukemia. But, I just want to make sure everybody knows I published a book about that struggle and about the illness 12 years ago. It's called Time on Fire. And it's actually a very good, very funny, very angry book about a guy who comes out of the experience but really feels like it was made harder to survive than it needed to be. But this book takes from after the illness on. So for those hypochondriacs, you don't have to read about that gruesome stuff. It's really a kind of a raucous romp through my dating and show business life.
And do you have a feeling, going through that experience, did it leave you with a feeling of, like, well, I'm bulletproof, or did it leave you with a feeling of, gee, that life can change so fast? And what's your overall philosophy?
Yeah, it's a combination. It's why the duality of the title of the book as well, because it's both. Everything becomes both. I feel extremely vulnerable for what happened, and the knowledge that anything bad can really happen to you. Most people, I think, are insulated from that and think, well, that's really terrible, but it really probably won't happen to me, and I don't really have that protection anymore in my mind, in my psyche. And at the same time, it's like, well, okay, but I got over something really catastrophic, so I suppose if something came along, I could handle it. So it's a real balancing act of the duality, and what I try to point up in the book, and by the title, the good news and the bad news of being alive, is that everything's really a duality. Both the length of life is tragic, and it's really a relief. And there are great things about life and painful aspects of life, and the whole thing is really to try to have a great, adventurous, fulfilling life without despairing too much, and without becoming, I suppose, overly trusting that nothing bad is ever going to happen.
Well, that was my next question. Do you feel like there was some sort of meaning? Do you think that happened for a reason? I don't mean to be a cliche, but did it leave you with a feeling of, well, that happened for a reason?
I actually go to great lengths to describe some of that stuff. I think that's in the first book, but I'm not somebody who thinks it happened for a reason. I'm close to that, but I'm not that. I'm a person who thinks, well, since this has happened, I'm going to incorporate it. I'm going to use it for what it's worth. I'm going to try to turn it into a positive. I'm going to tell the story so others who might follow behind, I'm going to tell the story in a way that I think it has application way beyond illness and people who are ill, really what it means, what insights it's given me about life. And so it's become a huge part of my life and has tremendous meaning, but that doesn't mean that that's why it happened. That means it's how I chose to use it for its advantages as opposed to just suffering through it. Some people even say that it's the best thing that ever happened to them. I tend to think, well, would you like to provide the experience for your children as well?
I love it when they say, well, you're so lucky.
Yeah, that's
what?
bullshit.
I had Marianne Williamson once hit me with a series of platitudes that drove me about 10 feet back, talking about how God had provided me this wonderful experience and this
she is so full of shit.
Haircut that, that could now be my image.
Marianne Williams, by the way, Evan Handler is here. You will know him as Harry Goldenblatt from Sex and the City, that movie that is coming out. He's been in tons of movies, Ron Howard's Ransom, Sweet Lorraine, Dear Mr. Wonderful, The Natural Born Killers, tons of, all the, Law and Order, the whole, the 6 Feet Under, all of it. Marianne Williams came to my home after I bought it with another actress to, get the evil spirits out of it or something. And she was so full of shit. I couldn't, and she's this failed actress that has a following somehow in Hollywood.
Too, but I have to say, a lot of people take great comfort from her, and if half of them go and buy my book, I'll be very grateful to each one of them. So, to all those people who feel insulted on behalf of Marianne Williamson, I encourage you to go buy my book because there'll be redemption for me within its pages in your eyes.
EvanHandler.com. It's only temporary, the good news and the bad news of being alive. Can you stay with us, and can we ask you about two things? Two things.
I don't know what the two things are, so I can't.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Well, for one of them is going to be Sex and the City, the movie. I'll ask you about that.
Yeah,
but
sure.
the other one is the pilot you did with O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
All right. Coming up, Sex and the City and the pilot with O.J. Simpson and Evan Handler on the Jay Thomas Show, Sirius Stars 102.
The race for the Sprint Cup Chase is on Sirius NASCAR Radio. And with 3 weeks to go, you'll want to hear all the action every step of the way as the top drivers race for position at Bristol, Fontana, and Richmond.
Junior loses the left wheel, slams the outside wall.
Plus expert analysis from Buddy Baker, Charlotte Meyer, David Poole, and of course, Tony Stewart Live. And with Driver to Clue Audio, you won't miss a second of the action. Go to Sirius.com/NASCAR for more information. Sirius NASCAR Radio, your place for the chase.
Starting a new garden doesn't have to be back-breaking. Not when you have the Mantis Tiller Cultivator. It does all the hard work for you. The Mantis Tiller weighs only 20 pounds. It's easy for anyone to handle. The powerful 2-cycle engine spins the patented tines deep into the soil. They dig down, cutting through the hardest clay and tangled weeds. They're so tough, They're actually guaranteed never to break, yet the Mantis maneuvers nimbly, even in the tightest places. Tilling, weeding, and cultivating have never been easier. Now you can get this amazing Mantis tiller cultivator at huge factory direct savings. Plus, we'll give you this border edger free. Use the Mantis for a full year. And if you're not delighted, return it for a prompt, no questions asked refund. Call now and we'll send you complete information. It's yours free with no obligation.
Call 1-800-881-9608. That's 1-800-881-9608. Call 1-800-881-9608 today.
Is Progressive.com an auto insurance utopia? Well, let's see. Progressive is more than just cascading waterfalls and lush green gardens. It's all your auto insurance wants and needs, like the chance to save hundreds and the fact that we're there for you 24/7 to answer any questions. And they're not answered by magical nymphs, but by licensed agents, which is nice. Start saving today at Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. That's Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company's affiliates, Mayfield, Village, Ohio. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Are you a driving professional? Invest in yourself with a career at NFI. Because their business includes warehousing, transportation, and distribution, they offer stability in difficult times that many of their competitors can't match. They offer competitive pay, benefits, and high-quality equipment, even integrating the new Freightliner Cascadia into their fleet. Why wait? Call 888-269-3584 or visit them online at NFIcareers.com. That's 888-269-3584 or NFIcareers.com.
The J. Thomas Very Special, Best of, Kinda Good show, Sirius Stars 102. Oh! We've got, Evan Handler's on the J. Thomas show. Evan, this is from the new Sex and the City soundtrack. Do you know there's already a soundtrack out there for sale, Evan?
I've never heard that music before, but...
this is Bette Midler.
There must be a soundtrack.
Yeah, this is Bette Midler, believe it or not, on the soundtrack. Is she going to sing anytime soon?
Over my years, I guess I shed some tears.
Sounds like Amy Winehouse.
Told myself time and again.
All right, that's enough of that. All right, you go to evanhandler.com.
What are you saying, Jay?
Harry Gold.
Marianne Williamson, I want to say one more thing about that. I'm sure there are techniques she gives people for that are actually really...
Well, are you nervous now that I called her an asshole? Hey, Evan.
Is reassurance about the scary parts of life. And that's what I try, actually, to offer in my book, but it's really a realist's take on that kind of stuff.
You didn't insult her.
And, because personally, I'm the kind of guy, I don't really trust optimism from optimists, because that's the default setting. Like, I want a really optimistic, incredible story told by a pessimist, because then I can really believe that it's true. It's been subjected to all kinds of challenge already.
Do you feel as though that... Now, you didn't say anything about Marianne Williamson. I said she was an asshole. But we both had a personal experience. Don't worry. I don't think people know who Marianne Williamson is outside of this stupidity circle of Hollywood or New York, okay? So I don't think you have to worry. So I called her an asshole. I'm sure you think she's a great woman, and she gave you a great compliment, and it will not hurt the sale of your book.
I just want her readers to buy my book as well.
I know you do, I said it. I have no book that anybody would ever buy. There'd be no way.
Believe me, he's tried.
Yeah, we've tried. Now, in Sex and the City, here are the questions.
Go.
You're married. Is Sex and the City, the movie, a continuation of what was happening at the end of the series?
Well, 4 years have elapsed, so it's a continuation, but it doesn't pick up the moment the series ended. No, everybody's 4 years older. Charlotte and I have a daughter who's 4 years old that we adopted at the end of the series.
Chinese daughter.
So, yes.
What's her name?
Lily.
Okay.
Took me a minute.
Go ahead.
Lily. The Chinese girl.
And what else has happened with the other characters 4 years later that we can look forward to?
I can't say that there's anything major that has happened in the interim.
Well, in real life, Cynthia Nixon has come out of the closet in real life. Has she come out of the closet in the TV show?
No.
I mean, the movie?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's not... To me, I would think they would want to do that, you know?
That's not part of the movie, no.
Okay. Now, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Why did it premiere in London, which really pissed the American fans off?
I don't know why I do not know why it premiered in London, and I do not know why it pissed people off so much either.
My wife was livid.
They're
She
really
was.
upset.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad I had no part in it then. Nobody told me it was going to happen. I would have told them not to do it.
Now, we saw the pictures of the Sarah Jessica, Parker's character and Big. We saw the pictures of them in New York in wedding dresses. So we have to assume they got married, but that's supposed to be the big ending, right?
You know, there's a wedding and there isn't a wedding. There's some drama around the wedding.
Okay, which you're not going to tell us about, but there is a wedding, but it isn't a
The
wedding.
main thing you need to know about the movie is that it's in color.
Was that a deal breaker?
It's in color. There was a lot of people doing a really arty Woody Allen type black and white film, but they realized it wouldn't work with the outfits, and so they.
Evan Handler, EvanHandler.com. The book is It's Only Temporary, the good news and the bad news of being alive. He talks about his life as a leukemia survivor, all of his television work, finding the love of his life, and now the ill-fated, never-seen pilot starring O.J. Simpson. Well, what was the name of the show?
It was called Frogmen, and there's actually one person, I don't even remember who it is now, who told me recently that they saw it, that they're friends with the man who was the president of NBC at the time, and that they saw it. But no, I've never seen it. It's never seen the light of day, as far as I know.
Now, there isn't... I covered the O.J. trial as a reporter.
Yeah.
And
He's
there
a bad
was...
man, that O.J., apparently.
And there was talk that some of the instruments they used in that sitcom
That's
for Frogman, the knife, was either very close or, in fact, the same knife, their same brand.
We were all
those
working
murders.
in the kind of abandoned L.A. subway system. We went down into some tunnels that had inches of dust, and God knows what ancient viruses and bacteria down there. And there was a knife shop outside there that night. Yeah, you know, I mean, those are hellish happenings. I just remember, O.J., we were all going through breakups at the time, and O.J.'s advice to the rest of us was, you know, guys, the one piece of advice I'd give you is don't let your ego fuck up your relationships.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Let God sort them out.
That's his advice. Don't let your ego fuck up your relationships.
Yeah.
Boy, that is prophetic, isn't it?
One could say.
Yeah. Now, this is the story I heard. I heard that in Frogmen, which I didn't know that was the name of it until you just said it, that there was some instruction given, or he was doing a movie that had to do with knives. Do you know if he was doing a film or getting ready to do something that had to do with knives?
You know, look, if I was playing a pilot and I got some instructions on how to fly a plane, I don't think you'd fly with me just because of that.
I might.
That said, I don't think O.J., you know, I don't think you need to prove that he got knife instruction to see that there's some pretty clear evidence of guilt in terms of that crime. So,
you mean to tell me that that's not as important as the fact that Ron Goldman's blood was in his car?
All right. Okay. Well, Evan, thank you very much. Good luck with the book. The movie will be a smash. You know, they're talking that out of all of these action-adventure films that the Sex and the City movie will probably have the kind of numbers that an action film would normally have. So I'm happy about that.
I'm recommending that people go and buy my book before they go to the theater or on their way to the theater to see the movie. Because if there are any slow parts of the movie, you can have a little pen light and my book can entertain you, you know, until the movie gets back on track.
It's Only Temporary is the book that is so much better than the film Sex and the City. The good news and the bad news of being alive. It's out in hardcover. I'm sure Amazon has it, or you can go to EvanHandler.com and find out all about it. Evan, thanks very much, man.
Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. A lot of fun. Evan Handler. You know what? When I talk about interviews and stuff, and we have comics on here and all that, you know what he had that I like? You know the word I'm going to say?
Panache?
No, energy.
Oh.
Energy. Panache. What does that mean, panache?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I just said
energy. And that's all you need. And he told the story of the leukemia and all that, which, you know, I just guess the thing that I just can't imagine sitting down and going, people are going to be interested in what I have to say about this experience that I went through. I just can't believe that. And
I'm just the opposite of you. How could that be?
I don't know. And I know that it's true because we have people on all the time. And now, I would never buy these books. I would never buy, not just Guy's book, but there's a lot of these self-help books. I just figure that in 3 or 4 pages, someone should be able to tell you, you know.
It shouldn't be a book. It should be like a
pamphlet.
An article. Yeah.
Maybe I should write pamphlets.
Or business cards in your case.
No, pamphlets.
Maybe one-sided business
And I
cards.
could write like a pamphlet, and it's like, let's say it's 12, 15 pages, something like that. And then it has my advice and a pamphlet. Because when you read...
How about a tagline?
No. When you read one of these books, when you read one of them, right, after about the first chapter, you pretty much have the gist of the weight loss, to get your life back in order, and... all of that kind of stuff.
So you're not really a writer that is long form. You don't.
No.
Yeah.
No. Pamphlet.
I would have to agree with that. Based on our.
No. No. What I'm saying is I would be vilified for that, because I would start selling my book. Let's say my book is No Flowers Grow in No Man's Land. That's the name of my book, right?
What?
And it's No Flowers Grow in No Man's Land.
Well, you're certainly not brief about titles.
Flowers don't grow in no man's land. I took no off of there. Flowers don't grow in no man's land. How about this one? No man's land. Just take flowers out of it.
How about land?
Land? Just take it all out and call it land?
Yep.
That's it. Okay.
Talk about your real estate experiences.
That's my
land.
Upside down size. You like that one?
Not really.
Nobody likes that title. I think it's a great title.
You know what would be a better title?
What?
Land.
Hey, is Sean Kelly in the studio?
Yes, he is.
Now, I heard you were talking to Julia Switzer and her sister.
What was her problem? That seemed awful
I
urgent.
don't give a shit about her problem.
I give a shit.
Don't care if she catches on fire. Listen,
Sean, what happened?
Her sister is on this television
show. She had a vaginal itch that I had to scratch.
Oh,
see? Now you're interested. How many guys were volunteering to scratch it?
She heard us say analingus and came rushing into the studio.
Luckily, I have a fingernail to get to my penis.
What was that? What?
She needed help bleaching.
All right, look.
That's funny.
What did the fingernail?
He said he has a fingernail on his penis. He'll scratch her vagina with it. With his penis.
I don't get it. Now listen, her sisters...
Sometimes you just don't get things. It's weird.
Her that doesn't even make sense, a fingernail on your penis. It's like some kind of odd person. I mean, it'd be so odd. How would you get a manicure? You'd get a dickicure.
It's
what would
not
you get?
to be taken literally.
Get a penal cure. Penal cure. You go in, you go like this. You go, hey, can I get, a pedicure, a manicure, and a penal cure?
Weren't you just in for your penal cure?
Like that.
Yeah, I cracked it.
Can you imagine how big your cuticle would have to be for that to work?
Can you imagine how often you'd be working on it?
Yeah, you'd be rubbing that cuticle day and night.
I have to go do my nail.
All right, hold on a second. Sean,
yes.
Her sister is bisexual, and she's on this television show.
So you want to talk to Julia about that?
And her sister.
Oh, okay.
I want to book them as guests.
Okay.
Talk to her.
I think you should have them separate.
Yeah, you know what? You're not going to be in on this, okay? In fact, you're not coming back here for a while. I think the phone callers and some of the emails have proven quite a lesson here. You're not the most liked person that comes on this show, okay? And that's why I had you 3 days in a row, so people would get good and sick of you.
How'd you like me to scratch you with my penis?
Good and sick of you, okay? I want you to get out and not come back until I tell you to come back.
Like when?
Next week.
All right.
It's been the Jay Thomas Show. Sean Kelly and Garrett Andritz do all their things back there. Rodney Lee Conover does his best to destroy my career back here in California. Art Sears and Lauren Lieberman bring the great guests. And we're lucky to have Sirius Satellite and Sirius Stars 102. God bless all of you.
Finally hurt me.
So long.